All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you are new here. Thank you guys so much for joining me once again. Press X Podcast. We're back with another episode, and we have a few different things that we're going to be talking about today. We have a $2 super chat from Shadowlink right off the bat. He says, "Just finished your last stream. LOL. It was great." Well, I'm very glad you enjoyed it, Shadowlink. Yes, our last stream was a wild ride. You know, there was a lot of emotions. We were a little bit all over the place, and I feel sorry for anybody who stumbles across that podcast and is like, what's this? A PlayStation podcast? Oh, MBG. Yeah, I'm not familiar. And they look at the timestamp and they're like, whoa. Okay. Yeah, this is interesting. This is something. Yeah, for my regulars though, it's just the usual, right? It's just the usual. So, but I am glad that you guys enjoy it, and yeah, it definitely makes me feel good when people aren't able to catch it live, they're able to watch it later on. So, thank you guys. Marathon just got a 9 at IGN. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Marathon today. I actually did start playing it and I put some time into it. So I'll be letting you guys know today what I think of Marathon based off of what I've played. Raven, what's going on, man? Good morning to you as well. Dillo says, don't forget to like the stream. And yeah, guys, make sure you're doing me a favor and hitting that like button. If it's the only other way you can like deeply interact with the channel other than the chat and just watching, make sure you do it. Lets me know you enjoy it, and it helps with YouTube's algorithm. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Marathon today because not only have I started playing it, but, you know, the question is already being asked, even by players, right? Like, how long can we expect Marathon to be supported for? And I just can't stop thinking about when we heard that Sony purchased Bungie for $3.6 billion and the level of enthusiasm that was there, and obviously it's been like, what, 3 or 4 years now? And we look at where we are with Marathon and it's like, wow, okay. Well, this is something. This is something. We're also going to be talking about the fact that the Xbox Showcase was announced today. They're announcing it nice and early. Man, could you imagine if Sony did something like this? Could you just imagine if Sony came out on March 30th and was like, hey guys, just a heads up, we're doing the PlayStation 2026 Showcase June 7th. And then afterwards, we're going to have a big deep dive on God of War or something. It's just weird. You see such a difference in how Sony and Microsoft approach their shows. This is a PlayStation showcase. Yes, apparently it is. We're going to talk about that. The new Xbox CEO tweeted about the showcase, and the replies from certain groups of Xbox fans are very fascinating, in my opinion. So we'll talk about that. And we're also going to talk about Saros. The previews came out, and I just want to talk a little bit more about, what's going on with this game? How's it different from Returnal? How are we feeling about it? Right? Glowing previews. See, we have Corey in the chat. He says, crikey, mates. Crikey, mates. I can't do a proper Australian accent. Crikey? Crikey, mates. There we go. There we go. Crikey, mates. This be for the boss. And he comes in, he drops 5 member gifts for you guys. So a big shout out to Corey, the legend Landiga, once again.
I'm no hero.
I need to lower
Never
that.
was. Never will be.
Thank you, Corey, for the 5 membership gifts and kicking off what will hopefully be some kind of member train, perhaps, for the day. As I told you guys yesterday, I'm just looking to make up for some lost time. What is today? The 3rd. So we have today and tomorrow to try to make up for some lost time. I was thinking about doing like a bigger member goal, but I don't know. I don't want to put pressure on people, make it seem like we have to hit this goal. It's imperative. It's not so much that as much as it's just this month was a little bit lopsided and strange. So trying to take advantage of the last couple days here while I can. But let me add that to the member count. And yeah, hopefully in the coming weeks, I don't have an exact date yet, but we should be opening a P.O. box and probably bringing back Morning with the Misses as well. So please look forward to that if you do get lucky enough to be gifted a membership. And we'll see. Boss, I think Boss is passed out upstairs right now, but give it a little bit of time. Once he wakes up and realizes that I'm talking and he's late for work, he'll be down here. So see, we got Ray with the triple anus W's. Love to see it. Chris is saying Xbox Showcase when? Yeah, June 7th. So it's I mean, a couple months away. They're really, I mean, I know Xbox likes to announce it ahead of time. I feel like this is the earliest they've ever announced it. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it kind of feels like it. And yeah, they're going to do a direct for Gears E-Day, which I think a lot of people are excited about. People have been asking for a long time now. Where's Gears of War E-Day? And the question still remains, is this game going to launch this year? Or is it going to be like a game that gets pushed into 2027? It's Easter holiday soon. That is true. That's very true. All right. So yeah, guys, before we dive into any of these topics, if you want to support the channel, there's a couple of ways you can do that. We are fan funded. I can only do what I do here because you guys make it possible. So if you want to go above and beyond, consider becoming a channel member. Consider gifting memberships. Like I said, if we hit 25, we'll feed the beast. Consider dropping a super chat or a direct donation. These are all ways in which you can support the channel, the content, and the community directly. So thank you all who do so. All right, let's see. Be prepared to witness immense sadness if you know the lore. Yeah, true. Sometimes I do forget that Gears of War E-Day is a prequel, actually. And yeah, Dom is back. So it'll be interesting, man. I mean, Gears of War E-Day, it feels like it has a lot of potential, to be honest. But we should start here with the Xbox showcase because I do feel like this is the big news that was announced today. And if you go over to the Xbox Wire, they say it's time for another look at the future of gaming. Xbox Game Showcase 2026 will air on Sunday, June 7th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. It will be followed immediately by a deep dive into the return of one of Xbox's most legendary franchises in the form of Gears of War E-Day Direct. We'll begin the day with our annual Xbox Game Showcase, including first-party looks and huge news on upcoming titles from our first-party studios across the Xbox family, as well as our third-party partners around the globe, from the biggest franchises to soon-to-be indie darlings. Immediately following the showcase, you'll go even deeper on one of the games coming later this year, so they are reaffirming it's coming this year. Directly from the team behind the Gears franchise, the Coalition Studio, Gears of War E-Day Direct will take players into the start of Emergence Day, offering new details, gameplay, and insights about the hugely, second time they're using the word huge, anticipated origin story to the Gears of War saga. To help celebrate Xbox's 25th anniversary, we're excited to bring back Xbox Fan Fest at Showcase. This year's experience will include a look back at the last 25 years, alongside a forward view of what's next. So, very interesting. And they do say here at the bottom, the double feature also kicks off a week's worth of coverage on the Xbox Wire with the official Xbox podcast, etc. So yeah, man, it sounds like Microsoft once again they're going big this summer. I do want to emphasize that they use the word huge twice. I do wonder if if Sony will use similar terminology when they announce their, you can assume, summer state of play. Uh, Unico, you're saying the fanboy in me doesn't want day one on PlayStation, but the gamer in me wants all games on on all platforms day one. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little bit because it does seem like there are definitely some Xbox fans making it known to Asha Sharma that we want exclusives back. And I get it, you know, I get it. I kind of feel the same way as you, where it's like I can see both sides. I've never had a problem with exclusivity. I think it's really smart to have exclusive games if you're trying to sell your own hardware and build a console ecosystem. But at the same time, like, yeah, you can see certainly the benefits of more people being able to just have access to a game, right? And Digital Dude says, "Why do you have a hole in your wall under the Kratos poster?" Whoa, Digital Dude, there's no hole in that wall, bro. Let me tell you, that wall was just built. All right, if there was a hole in that wall, there would be a problem. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I'm surprised Microsoft barely celebrated the Xbox 360's 20th anniversary last year, but they're going all in on their 25th anniversary of the original Xbox. Yeah, well, I mean, if you read the Xbox Wire post, I do think it's interesting as well that they're saying they're going to be, you know, doing the Fan Fest, celebrating 25 years, but they're going to be basically giving, I guess, a little bit of a glimpse into what is next. And I mean, look, man, we are already seeing Microsoft talk openly about Project Helix. They're giving talks about it at GDC, and they're announcing the official project name and all that stuff. I can't help but wonder if maybe they're planning on talking a little bit more about Project Helix at their showcase this year. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if they did, only because they would have kind of telegraphed that, where it's like, yeah, we're already talking about it now. And we know they like to talk about these things early. But I think it would also be interesting, right? To see if they're going to try to blend that in with all the games they're going to be showing at the showcase. And then there is also the fact that, yeah, how are they going to handle this potentially being, also like a PlayStation and Nintendo showcase, where everybody who's going to be watching, while you might not play on Xbox, you might play on PS5, you might play on Switch 2. And, is a game like Gears of War E Day going to be PS5? I think it's safe to say it is. Yeah, I mean, it would be quite shocking if they were like, no, actually, it's not coming to PlayStation. Maybe it could come to PlayStation later, like Forza Horizon 6 is. But yeah, man, the second half of this year is looking pretty crazy for Xbox. I mean, if they're gonna be launching Fable, where are they gonna launch Gears of War E Day, knowing that they also have Call of Duty? I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Gears of War E Day will launch a lot sooner than we think. Maybe it'll be like early September. It's too late. Microsoft is finally making money now. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I need Gears on PlayStation. I want the franchise back. It will not thrive on Xbox only. MBG, would you time out someone just for saying GTA 6 will be exclusive to PS5 for the first 6 months? Yes. Yes, I would. No, I'm just kidding. No, I would definitely not time out somebody for that. That sounds kind of crazy. Um, they're not going to make Xbox exclusives again because of Game Pass. Nobody buys games on Xbox. That's why they bring them to PlayStation, so we'll buy them. Ghetto God, we don't talk about that. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Shh. That's crazy, Nicodemus. You're saying, "What's up, MBG? Just left Sunday stream to listen to you live." Yeah, I was thinking about maybe just like kind of taking taking today off, but again, I took too many days off this month already. It just doesn't feel like it because I was doing a bunch of other busy work and stuff. But Jeffrey, you're saying really enjoying Crimson Desert. There's so much to do in this game. It's really awesome. Yeah, it seems like it's doing better and better. I can't say I regret not trying it, only because even when I come across some footage of it now, I'm like, yeah, it looks good. It looks like a good video game. But the more I see of it, the more I just realize, like, yeah, it's not for me. Haters are going to clip that. Indeed, they will. Indeed, they will. But yeah, I gotta oh, that's interesting. Benino, you're saying Tim Dog is saying that Gears is a timed exclusive on Xbox. He just doubled down. Yeah, that wouldn't shock me. That wouldn't shock me. I wouldn't even be surprised if more games end up being like timed exclusives on Xbox. But here's the thing. I feel like with something like Gears of War E-Day, if it were to be a timed exclusive and it's not day one to Xbox, we would have to ask ourselves how long it would be exclusive. And honestly, I think if they're going that route, I think we're looking at something just like Forza Horizon 6, where it's like 6 months or so, right? Half a year. Um, I imagine that they want to ensure that a game like Gears of War E-Day launches on PS5 because yeah, they do need Gears to make a bit of a comeback here. It needs to do well. It can't just kind of come out and be a middling like, oh yeah, it's okay and it's kind of all right. I mean, I guess it could do that and it would survive, but it just feels like Gears of War 4 and 5 really kind of lost, especially 5, felt like it really lost the momentum. And a lot of people feel like, you know, Gears just isn't really where it should be and it's not what it once was. And this is kind of a problem that Microsoft has had with their core franchises outside of Forza Horizon 6. They've struggled like this with Halo and now Gears is not too far off from that. So or yeah, maybe I have that backwards. I think people really liked 5 and 4 was really like, wait, this is weird. Although I do think that even with 5, if I remember correctly, a lot of Gears fans still felt like in terms of the story and the direction, like it was starting to veer into it was starting to like kind of branch off into a direction that I don't know that everybody was on board with. So that's why it makes sense why they're going back to, I guess, Emergence Day and doing a prequel. I think that's actually pretty cool. Gears of War 3 was the last decent one. GTA 6 will be a timed exclusive to PlayStation 5 MVG. There's a lot of speculation about this. Well, I'm going to say you should be really careful about buying into that notion because GTA 6, the only way it could ever be a timed exclusive for PlayStation is Sony would have to pay a quite literally ridiculous amount of money to make that happen, and it simply would not be worth it. And if you're Sony, you don't want to pay that amount of money to secure a game that's already going to do amazing things for you anyway, you know? Um, yeah, I think there's honestly no chance whatsoever that a game like GTA 6 would launch as even a timed exclusive. I just don't think that's possible. Gears 5 was awesome. It was 4 that was meh. Okay. Yeah, you're the second person to say that. I think I have them mixed up. The best way to fix Xbox exclusive games again would be to take day one games off of Game Pass and make them timed exclusive so people can buy them. Same thing with PS5, bring them later on. I mean, yeah, if Microsoft were to kind of once again shift directions and they're like, well, maybe we should try to leverage some form of exclusivity like we used to, maybe to help sell Helix, but there's a lot of things here that I think are problematic, right? The first is that they already ripped the band-aid off. That to me is problematic, where it's like trying to put that back on now after fully ripping it off is like it's going to be a tough one, right? The second problem is money. And the fact that they Microsoft now realizes that they can make a lot of money by not just being multi-platform, but by embracing the idea of launching their games everywhere at the same time and giving their games the best possible chance. Um, and obviously, that logic holds true for anybody. That logic could hold true for Sony. It could hold true for Nintendo. But this is where the third problem comes in. And I think this is the biggest problem of all. Project Helix, we've heard that this console hybrid is going to be like maybe $1,000+ and if that's the case, I don't know that Microsoft is in a position knowing that even with consoles like the Series X and Series S, not even selling 35 million units. I think it's a huge problem to lock your games to such a small user base. Um, but with something like Gears, it might be different. It might be different because it's Gears, right? Like, surely Xbox players will show up for Gears, and it's okay if we release it later. I could see that logic holding up, but across the board, I'm not sure. I mean, we did just get their developer direct a couple of months ago, and pretty much every game they should, like, even though Forza Horizon 6 is coming to PS5 later, they still literally said during the show, like, oh, yeah, no, we are bringing it to PlayStation. It's just going to take a little bit longer. It's going to need a little bit more time in the oven. That's why it would be a little bit surprising if they were like, yeah, no, Gears is just Xbox, guys. That would be like, oh, I mean, even Halo is coming to PlayStation day one. So it would be a bit of a pivot. A surprise GTA 6 release on PC would be cool. But if not, I'll wait. We got plenty to eat already this fall. Yeah, I don't think a surprise PC release is happening. I think they're going to want to take their time with that and get it right. Shadow Link, you're saying, MBG, the reason for speculation is because of the Helix. It plays PC versions, and the PC version is set to come out later. Also, this isn't the full explanation. Yeah, that's true too, Shadow Link. I mean, when it comes to Helix, man, I like I don't know. I feel like Project Helix, if Microsoft does talk about it at their showcase, they might try to use the showcase as an opportunity to make their messaging as clear as they possibly can in tandem with their games. And they don't have to do that. I mean, if they're targeting a holiday 2027 release, they could wait till the 2027 Xbox showcase. But it's like I said, they've already started talking about Helix. There's already so many questions about, how far does the PC aspect of Helix go? What type of games are we getting? Are they truly just PC versions, or are there going to be dedicated Helix versions? If they are, how similar is that going to be to getting like dedicated Series X and S versions? Same as the PlayStation 5 Pro then, $1,000 with the hard drive, or you mean the disc drive? Yeah, yeah. I mean, Project Helix might cost as much as a PS5 Pro. Mm. Did you guys hear though? I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but there's already some talk that the bubble may be bursting and RAM prices might start to go down very quickly, very soon. Um, I don't want to speak too much to that because it's just one of these things where, time will tell, and there's so much going on right now and there's so many predictions and so much speculation, but there does seem to be some type of indication that, very soon the prices might start to stabilize. And I do wonder, if that happens very rapidly, if both Sony and Microsoft start to, talk differently about pricing going forward. Capono, you're saying you still think Returnal's the best game Sony put out this gen? Yeah, no, I don't know that I would say for me it's the best one they put out this gen. I'd have to sit down and really think about that for a while. But I will say that Returnal is easily one of the best. It's up there. And that's why I think, Saros seems so exciting, because when I'm listening to the improvements that Housemarque is putting into this game, that clearly they weren't there for Returnal because it was their first time really trying to make a game like that. And, it wasn't perfect. They had a couple of issues, a couple of shortcomings. And Returnal was still amazing. I don't know, man. I don't know. Saros, I think, Saros might end up being your favorite game of the PS5 generation. Shadowlink, you're saying, MBG, there was speculation about it being better by year's end. Yeah, there was speculation about that. I think even like late last year. And there were certain analysts and people who were very close to this saying, like, well, it's not going to last forever, and it might last a lot. It might, the duration of it might be way less than people are assuming. And that would be a good thing. That would definitely be a good thing, you know? I think people are getting exhausted. People are getting tired of constantly feeling like everything is so volatile, so consistently, where it's like, can things just be normal? Like just a little bit normal, without there being some kind of like, major catastrophe around every corner, you know? I think people are definitely feeling that these days. I know I am. Where you're saying, John, bro, don't jump the gun. That's what I do. I jump the gun every time. Marathon is getting great reviews. Ironically, yeah. Interesting situation going on with Marathon. I think, there's been this notion that it's going to be a major failure. People want it to fail. People are, placing their bets. And it's weird because it doesn't seem like it's doing great, but yet the reviews are good. Like I everything I've heard about Marathon, and this is why I decided to finally just give it a shot, has been really positive. And I'm like, well, geez, man, maybe I will just try it. And so I did buy Marathon, and I put about 6 hours in it so far. Ooh, man, it's a lot. Aaron, you're saying, hey, how did I become a member? You probably got gifted a membership, Aaron. Yeah. We got we got some member gifts yesterday. We just got 5 earlier, so you may have been lucky enough to receive one. Yeah. Yeah, look out for that. Marathon's really good, but it's a niche game. People are too negative nowadays. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true too. The negativity is kind of out of control. Um and so, going into Marathon for me, I was prepared to really not like it. It took a lot for me. What really pushed me over the edge to actually try Marathon was seeing that there were only 12 trophies or 14 trophies. And I'm like, oh, 14 trophies. Okay, well, maybe it's a pretty easy platinum. Not realizing, that, well, actually it's going to take a long time. Like, there's not many trophies, but my thoughts on it. So after 6 hours, I I'm leaning more towards not liking it, but I feel like it's probably because I'm terrible at it. It's one of these things where I can identify as I'm playing it, like, yeah, this definitely feels like a Bungie game. And the first person shooting feels really good. The weapons feel great. The art style is very cool looking. The graphics look great on the PS5 Pro, runs very smoothly. The environments look great. But then there's the actual playing of the game. And because it's an extraction shooter, I'm like, dude, I like, I don't know how many matches I played so far, but again, in 6 hours, I feel like I had to have at least played close to like 40 matches at this point, or anywhere between 30 and 40 matches. And dude, I suck so bad. And I'm playing with a friend of mine, and we're both doing terrible. And I'm like, I don't like. You're talking about somebody who put over 1,000 hours in PUBG, and got the platinum for PUBG. So it's like I know how to play, very high stakes competitive games, and in multiplayer environments where you have to really get good to actually win and succeed. But something is not clicking with me and Marathon. And, I played for literally like 3 hours last night, and I didn't, I just, I've never experienced playing a game like this where I just feel like a loser. Like, honestly, like I feel like, wow, man, I suck, and I just should stop playing because I suck that bad. Where anytime we've encountered other players, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I've downed a couple people. I've even finished off like one or two people. But I never win. Like me and my friend, like playing like duos, like we never win. I even tried playing with like a third person, and we just never win, dude. Like we always just get worked. And I'm like, I've only been playing for 6 hours. Maybe that's why. Is my loot trash? I mean, probably, dude. I don't even know what I'm looting. That's that. Like, this is why I don't like extraction shooters, dude, because I'm so overwhelmed. I'm like overstimulated where I'm like, I don't know what any of this is. I have like 15 to 20 items in my backpack and I don't know what any of them do. And it's like, I can and I know it's like you got to take time to learn. And I guess the longer you play, you'll just figure it out. But I just feel kind of clueless, you know? I'm not going to lie to you. As I'm playing through the game, I'm just picking stuff up and I'm just like, I hope if I encounter enemies, um, like actual real players, I hope that I can take them out and not immediately die like I do every time. That hasn't happened yet. And something else I want to highlight about Marathon that is quite surprising is dude, the AI enemies are really tough. Like shockingly, half the times I've died, it's just by getting overwhelmed by the AI and I'm like, "Bro, what is this game?" And there are times where like I'm just like walking around and I just walk over like a poisonous plant and I'm just poisoned. And then I just go down and I'm like, what is this game? I'm like, this is crazy. So I totally get what people are talking about when they say that Marathon is pretty hardcore. It's not, it's definitely not going to hold your hand. And the onboarding is very rough. It's very rough in my opinion. They just kind of throw you in there. Um, and so I'm trying to stick with it to see if I can like overcome the hurdle of like there'll be that moment where it just clicks and I have a couple of good matches and things just start to I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm starting to feel it now." But so far it's made me feel like a loser. Like I suck at this game and uh I'm getting stomped and I'm not having much fun at all. And it literally got to a point last night where I entered like my like 12th or 13th match and I'm just sighing over the mic to my friend like going into it. I'm like, all right, man, I guess let's just try not to die within like 5 minutes. Um so yeah, it's maybe I'm making it seem too difficult, but I'm just surprised at like how hard of a time I'm having actually like adapting to this game. Will H. Cook with a $5 super chat says, I got the Platinum in Marathon. You need to play it like Metal Gear Solid. You need to play for a while to learn things. Platinum took me like 100 hours. Yeah, as I play more of it, I'm realizing that it is just one of these things where it's going to take time. There's no way around it. I mean, yeah, the last multiplayer game I put over 100 hours into is Metal Gear Delta Fox Hunt, which is probably dead now. And that was tough too. Yeah, I mean, you guys saw me playing some of my earliest matches, and I was just getting worked, and then yeah, after like about 15 hours or so, it's like, okay, it's starting to click. And then by, the 60, 70, 80 hour mark, I'm like a pro at that point. And I assume the same thing, excuse me, could happen with Marathon, but I'm just gonna have to see where it takes me. I'm either going to continue to, you know, in the evenings or the late afternoons or any time I'm taking off when I have time to game. I'm either gonna sit down and be like, okay, I'll play some more rounds, or I'm just gonna be like, nah, like I want to play something else. I don't want to do this. I don't really know where I am on it right now. I imagine because I'm playing it with my friend, um, it might be easier to just keep doing it because it's like we haven't played a multiplayer game pretty much since Metal Gear Delta, and he's not really playing anything. I'm playing something else as well, but he's I think I'm only level like 7. No, no, I'm level like 10 now, and I think he's level like 7 or 8. So I'm not really a high level either. Um, Nicodemus, a member for 27 months, you're saying MBG from a PlayStation diehard turned PC lover. Just want to say, enjoy what you like, bro. No hate. The doors always open when you decide to join us, brother. Damn. It's fitting that you have Darth Vader as your profile picture, Nicodemus. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to know that the door is always open. If I ever start to do PC gaming, I will let you know, Nicodemus. I'm good right now though. I'm good. I'm more than satisfied. So you know, that's the thing too. You're mentioning PC. I know that Marathon, most of the player base is on PC, right? Trio feels to learn from other players you feel with. See, that's where I'm like, I was thinking about that where I probably should just play with randos, but I don't I feel this is one of those games where I feel pressured where it's like you're expected to talk to people and I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like I'm not talking to people. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe people don't care. Maybe like way more people are actually not communicating and not talking. But I'm like, I don't know. It could be that me and my friend, it's just us trying to learn this game together and figure it out. Um, I saw something weird with a round I played last night where we did play trios and it was me, my buddy, and a rando. And we weren't talking to this guy and we encountered a team and me and my buddy just got wiped. We just got taken out immediately. And we were watching this guy and he just like literally walked up to the team. All three of the enemies were just looting our stuff and he just walked up to them and he was just standing there. And I don't know, I guess there was like a conversation going on. I couldn't hear it because we were in a party chat, but it ended with him getting shot. Like they took him out. Um, and I was like, this extraction shooters are so weird, bro. Like, but they are unique. I can kind of see why I can understand why so many developers are like, we got to get in on the extraction shooter because it really is a unique experience where you can engage with other players very differently than you do in pretty much any other type of game. But I also kind of don't like that because I felt bad. I had this another experience, dude, where I was playing as the Rook. And for those who don't know, the Rook shell is the one you go in solo and you go into a match that's already like halfway done. And you basically try to lay low, grab any loot you can and get out. And I was playing as a Rook and I was trying to make my way to the extraction point. And then this dude just like, I'm like pretty sure I hear somebody. I'm like, what is that? And so I stop and I crouch and I look around and I'm on like this kind of catwalk. And the dude just like runs up behind me and he's another Rook. And he starts like, like squatting up and down, trying to, I guess he was trying to signal that he wanted to like team up with me. I just panicked and killed him. Like I didn't know what to do. I'm like, dude, I can't, this is why I can't play this game. I cannot play extraction shooters because then I felt bad. I'm like, bro, I didn't even say anything. Like I wasn't even talking on the mic either. I was like, dude, I was just thinking in my mind, like, I'm sorry. I don't know how to do this. Like I'm too conditioned. I've played so many multiplayer games over the years that when I encounter an enemy, I'm just like, I just gotta shoot. Shoot first, ask questions later. It was literally shoot first, ask questions later. And then when I got the answers to those questions, I was really sad. And I'm like, damn. So whoever that guy was, I apologize. Maybe he was a noob too. My only hope is that he assumed I didn't know what I was doing. He's like, this guy clearly does. He just panicked. He didn't know what he was doing. So yeah, it's been. I will say it's been an interesting experience. Maybe not one. Did I loot him? Actually, I don't know. I don't remember. I may have, but I think one of the reasons I panicked so hard though was because I'm pretty sure I was extracting. Like I'm still trying to figure out the timing of the extraction in this, where you have to initiate it and you kind of just got to wait around, which is normal. But I think you have to go based off of sounds, like you'll hear a certain sound and it signals like, okay, get in. And then the 10-second countdown will start. And dude just kind of scared me, but it doesn't matter, man. I don't know if I'm going to continue to play Marathon or not. I probably will, like realistically. I'll probably, because because I was talking to my buddy about, I'm like, dude, what is going on? Like, why do we suck like this? And we're not normally like bad at video games. And I think my friend, he's like coping, right? He's like, we're just not into it, man. Like, we're just not as focused, we're barely trying. And I'm like, well, maybe he's not. I'm like, I don't know about you, man. Like, I'm trying. Like, I am actually trying and it's not working. Um, but I don't know. My friend he's under the belief that we are just, we haven't learned the ropes yet. And but dude, we keep encountering the dumbest stuff. The amount of times I said to myself out loud, what is this game, dude? Is, I kid you not, there was a round where we're just trying to walk to, I guess, like the center of the map to this facility. I don't know the names of anything. And I'm like, let's go there. There's probably some good loot or something. Yeah, I'm playing with brown sugar. And I should just record some of this stuff, man. And and so we're making our way, and like literally, the amount of just random hazards that were like, oh, I just stepped on a mine. I lost half my health. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm poisoned now. Okay. And then we finally get there, and we're like, okay, there's a bunch of AI enemies. We're gonna have to take them out. And we get in this crazy gunfight. We're pretty much almost out of ammo. We're trying to loot the AI enemies that we killed, restock and stuff, and look around. And suddenly, there's like this, it looks like a big container sitting there. That's kind of what it looked like. And, brown sugar goes up to it and he's like, I'm going to see what this is. And I'm like, yeah, okay, man. And he's holding, I guess he's holding down the square or whatever, like the loot button or whatever. And then it says like reinforcements coming or something. And I'm like, what did you do? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And then suddenly, literally, like twice the amount of enemies came out, and they just immediately killed us. And like they were even stronger. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what is that? What just happened? So I don't know what's going on. Dude, I don't know what's going on in this game. I'm kind of fascinated by it. I have to admit, I'm fascinated by the fact that I don't know what I'm doing and what's going on. And I can tell there's something on the horizon where if I do stick with this game long enough, I will get good. I will get good. But I just don't know if I'm going to be able to push through that barrier, and go like embrace that steep learning curve. You got shot by a turret, ran into a mine and died. Yeah, dude. That's what's surprising me the most about this game is that you really think like it's other people you got to be the most worried about. And I guess you kind of do because yeah, like it's the unpredictable nature of like how aggressive are they going to be? Could they maybe they'll just ignore you, but you could try to just evade or whatever. But yeah, man, I've just noticed how you're even just trying to walk around in any of these maps. It's like it just feels like a death trap. And there was this one round too. I'll say this: there was this one round where we went in. We must have probably from where we actually started the match, we probably only moved forward like 100 feet. We didn't loot anything, and we're both just like blinking in the red. And I was like, dude, we should just extract. We should just extract. And he's like, we didn't even do anything. I'm like, I know. We just entered the match, stepped on a couple mines, and encountered like an enemy group that we had to run away from. We should just leave. And that's what we did. And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, it's stuff like that where I'm like, I don't like it. When does it get fun? When does it get fun, man? But it makes for some funny stories, I will say. So, I see. Yeah, we should just go home. That's how it felt, bro. We should just go home. Did you ever try Arc Raiders? So I did try the Arc Raiders beta, and I had the exact same problem, and that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying it. I don't know. I guess because I haven't been playing anything recently, I just felt like, and I've been listening to more people. The difference between hearing about Arc Raiders or when Arc Raiders released versus Marathon is because I listen to more PlayStation oriented stuff. I've been hearing more people give their thoughts on it, and again, all I've been hearing is just really good stuff. I haven't seen people complaining about Marathon really. And I'm like, man, I'm like, is this like actually secretly a great game and it's just not really getting a fair shake or something? And so what I can say with my playtime so far is I understand like why Bungie stuck with this game and why they're like, we want to make this game and we want to see it through to the end. And I understand why people who are really enjoying it, are advocating it so much because there really is something good here. And I'm sure the same, I mean, absolutely the same applies to our graders. I just didn't give our graders enough of a try. That's why I'm trying to approach this differently, where I'm like, maybe just force yourself a bit, to give it more time, see if it clicks, and if not, it doesn't. It's happened before. I've played games for hours and hours and hours where I'm just like, yeah, this is no matter how long I play it, it's just not clicking, it's not working. But it's unusual that happens. It's not common. Well, you're saying it is great. Play trios, tell them you're a noob, and don't talk. Just follow the lead. Yeah, I mean, I could do that. I could do that. Maybe I'll have to. We'll see. That's why you got the platinum so fast. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. That, like I said, is what drove me, is also the fact that I was like, well, you know, how many trophies are in this game? And when I saw there was only 14, I'm like, that's it? But yeah, some of the trophies, like you have to get to, I think, level 100. You have to level up fully with one of the, what are they called? Like one of the companies or whatever with their contracts. And you have to loot like 777 boxes and stuff like that. So, it really is one of these things where I allowed that to kind of help push me over the edge where it's like, it's 14 trophies, man. Come on, are you serious? You can't get 14 trophies? And now I'm actually like, no, I don't know. I don't think I can get 14 trophies. I underestimated this game. I have to admit, I really did. I thought I was going to go in and, being somebody who's played so much Call of Duty over the years, so much PUBG over the years, I'm like, this will be nothing. And yeah, I'm finding out real fast. It's definitely not nothing. I haven't seen any hate for the game, which is strange for these days. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, man. Like I am somebody who was hating on Marathon to a degree, and I was hating on Bungie, and I still am kind of like in the bigger picture of it all. Like I still like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I literally sat there and thought like, Sony, you paid $3.6 billion for this. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad game at all. Like there's definitely something good here, but I'm like, geez, man. When I think about Marathon in isolation, like separate from it being a PlayStation owned game now and Bungie being owned by Sony, I appreciate it more. I appreciate it a lot less. Not the game itself, but my perspective on it changes holistically when I remember that, like, bro, like I just can't believe this is the outcome here where, when Sony decided to make their biggest acquisition of all time, this is the result. I'm like, that's crazy, man. 48 hours in, the game has an addiction loop once you learn it. I can sense that. I can sense that with the game. I can tell like there is something here. I can I'm getting a whiff of addiction, like that addictive gameplay loop, but it requires, I think, certain, it requires you to invest more time into it before you can really get that reward. I don't know if it was IGN's review, but somebody put out their review of Marathon today, and it said like, let me see if I can find it. I don't want to misquote it. I probably will end up misquoting it. Where is it here? Now I can't find it. Well, anyway, the headline said something along the lines of like, Marathon is absolutely like worth the hell it puts you through, or something like that. And that headline fascinated me because I'm like, well, that kind of feels like, yeah, like it feels like this game is hell to play right now. Um, but I can tell. I'm like but there's got to be something to this because they're like glimpses, little glimmers, I should say, of like I can kind of feel how there's something really good here. Like it feels like that the image of that dude digging in the tunnel with the pickaxe, just getting through all the dirt and you see the diamonds, kind of a little bit away, like he's making his way to that. It feels like that. Saying need green shields at minimum. Yeah, maybe that's another problem too. Is like I'm not one of the things that I don't like about this game, just straight up. And it's such a major aspect of the game. And I think this is where it's like my Call of Duty brain or even PUBG brain is kicking in, where like in Call of Duty, you make your loadouts and you're kind of limited in what you can choose because there's only certain amount of configurations you can do. You can't really give yourself an advantage. You just pick your strategy basically. When you're playing something like PUBG, you go in with nothing. Everybody goes in with nothing, and you just try to loot as much as you can to make yourself as strong as you can, as quick as you can. What's so different about the extraction shooter, and what I kind of don't like about it, but I understand that is the point of it, is every time before I go to do a run, this idea of like, here's all this crap, like, pick what you want. And I just feel overwhelmed by it, where I'm like, there's too much here. Like, I just want the minimum, I guess, to just be able to go out there and try to do something. But this would probably explain why I'm not doing myself any favors and I'm struggling so much, because it's like, well, you're not like I'm not taking the time necessary to really lock in like, okay, I'm prepped and ready to go, and I'm not invincible, obviously, but I'm using a lot at I'm preparing myself as best as possible to give myself the best possible chance. And I think the way I've been playing it really is just like I'm just going in there and winging it, And then I'm like, oh my god, I died instantly. It's like, yeah, because you're probably playing against people who actually are preparing before they go in. But yeah, I mean, I'm basically just using like the free kits. But it's also that's what's tough about it too, is like I'm not extracting with anything. And we have the king coming in. Yo, the king coming in out of nowhere, dropping 20 member gifts onto the community.
Holy shit.
King, thank you so much for that, man. Was not expecting that. And he actually just he took the goal out. Guys, let's get some W's in the chat for the king here, who is being very generous today and dropping some gifts onto the community. And he gets us to the point where we can feed the beast now, although I am surprised that none of the cats have come down here yet. Surely they hear me talking. Maybe they're just tired of me. They're like, we don't even care about your treats no more, man. But yeah, really appreciate that, buddy. Thank you for the support. I will add that to the goal. And if we end up going further than that today, we could always do some reps as well. Let me get rid of the Feed the Beast logo. I'll try to get the cats down here. I'll try to feed the beast. Let them sleep. Feed boss. Dude, I'm shocked boss isn't down here. He's always down here. As soon as he hears me talking, as soon as he hears me go live, he's like sitting on the desk. He's like, I'm ready. I'm ready. Maybe you stay on the perimeter map for a while? Boss, do you read me? Yeah, here we go.
Boss, do you read me? It's time to feed the beast.
I'll shake the treats, and I'll see if that works. You're saying Dire Marsh is the most brutal? Well, damn, that's what I've been playing. I'll give that a minute. See if any of the cats show up. Maybe a member goal to make you play a game on PC using your mouse and keyboard. Yeah, let's have a torture session for me. Why don't we? Yeah, I'll play Marathon on PC. That'll be great. Dire Marsh is toxic. When you say that, do you mean literally toxic? Like it literally, um, like is a toxic map? Because I'm pretty sure like it literally is. Or do you mean both? Like the most toxic players play there. That's funny. Well, so it seems to me that duos are only accessible on Dire Marsh, right? Which I was a little bit surprised by. I'm like, I like the map called Perimeter, and now I just realized what you said. I just realized what you said. For some reason, I stay on the perimeter map. For some reason, I read that as like literally stay on the outside of the map, but no, that's what the map is called. It's called Perimeter. Yeah, you're probably right. And maybe that's another mistake I'm making where like I'm just pretty much every round I played yesterday was in Dire Marsh. And I don't know, I guess I didn't assume that the different maps, kind of change like people view these maps differently. You get different types of players. Like, does Dire Marsh offer like more valuable loot compared to Perimeter? Dire Marsh has the most teams that spawn and people just try to rush you there. Also, people use thermal snipers a lot. Oh, jeez. That would explain why when I was playing with Brown Sugar yesterday, he's like, bro, I just got instantly downed. I don't even know how or from where. And I'm like, I'm like literally hiding in a fucking box somewhere. Like, okay, man, just come crawl to me. I'll try to pick you up. Dude, the more you guys are telling me, the more I'm like, a lot of what I've experienced with my 6 hours of marathon is starting to make way more sense now, man. Starting to make way more sense. That's crazy. Outpost is the most brutal, but has the best loot. I don't think you should do duos with your friend. In duos, it will be harder. People like it for the PvP. Okay. All right. They're savages in Dire Marsh. Dude, I'm probably playing like the best PC players on the game right now. Bungie is tweaking the duos after Dire Marsh. They will likely tweak Outpost. Well, this gets me into like a bigger conversation of like the future of this game because the last Sony live service game I played that I really enjoyed and had a good time with was Helldivers 2. And I played Helldivers 2 for like 120 hours, 110. I still play it sometimes. I just did a few rounds the other night, but I just play it super casually now just to, randomly hop in and hop out. But I felt once we saw how successful Helldivers 2 was, like, oh yeah, this game's going to be around for years and we're going to get a Helldivers 3, and it solidified itself as like a live service title that will be supported for many, many years to come. No doubt about that. With Marathon, I'm feeling differently about it. I'm feeling like not too bad, but like I can understand why people are concerned, and they're they're looking at the player counts on Steam and stuff, and we covered what Alinea Analytics said, which we don't know if they're truly accurate or not, but it sold only like 1.2 million and, only like 200,000 sales on PS5 and stuff like that. And I do wonder if this game is going to be one that can actually grow over time, or if it's going to be something that it does kind of just fall off, right? I mean, it feels like to me, based off of not just my experience playing it, but also encountering people who are really into this game, it seems to me that this game will always have a hardcore following, right? I think in the next 3 months, the next 6 months, you're going to see a lot of people fall off, and I'll probably be one of them. But it does seem like as long as Bungie keeps some type of content pipeline flowing, there will always be like a hardcore group of people that will go back to it and make it their go-to game for a set period of time until they wait for the next content drop. That's my read on Marathon. I don't know that I feel it's going to, like by season 3 they're reaching new peak player counts. Maybe it could, and that would be fascinating if this game became kind of like a slow burn where it just built up more and more over time. As the game really got better and better, and there was more content on offer. But it does seem to me like, knowing that Sony owns them, and not even just because Sony owns them, I'm making that sound like a bad thing, but Sony spent a lot of money on them, and Bungie is a massive studio with still, I think, over 800 people, right? I feel like the vast majority of Bungie's devs are now going to have to move over into full production, for Destiny 3. That, I feel like, is not really going to be much of an option for them because, the question, like, did Marathon make any money? Did it break even? Um, how is it doing with the microtransactions? These are questions that no one really has the answer to except for Sony and Bungie, of course. But, looking at the way things have played out so far, I guess I just wouldn't be surprised if we hear within the next like year that they're like, yeah, we're like, I'm not saying they're going to abandon the game. I don't think they're going to abandon it, but it's like the vast majority of devs at Bungie are working on something else now. Also, reading in and doing contracts that unlock stuff for you, like free dailies, etc., will help you. They should integrate a free loadout only for casuals, or a free loadout only queue for casuals. That's kind of the question, right? It does seem like Bungie's play with Marathon was, we want to tap into the hardcore extraction shooter players. Like, we want to serve the hardcore. And they clearly did that. But there's also that kind of angle to it where, now, when I say this, I say to somebody who has not played Arc Raiders, but based off of everything I've heard, Arc Raiders is not hardcore. Like, it's way easier than Marathon. That's what I've heard. I don't know how true that is, but when you look at the fact that Arc Raiders blew up the way it did, and it still has so many people playing it, you do have to start to wonder if maybe Bungie might have to try to make a play for the more casual audience, of extraction shooter players and people who are willing to try it. I mean, I can admit right now, man, like, I do kind of feel like I need I don't say an easy mode, but I need like you know, I need like a playlist that's like, hey, uh, you're going to be playing noobs as well. Like, you're playing people that are not going to just immediately wipe the floor with you for a little bit, and maybe if you reach like a certain level, they cut it off or something. I could definitely use that. The game should last at least a couple of years, and it depends on if they pivot. Well, we do have a statement from Bungie. They did respond to this, and I'll tell you guys what they had to say about, supporting the game. The problem with all shooter games is that the hardcore will always stick with it. Makes it hard for new players to get into it later down the line without getting stomped all the time. Yeah, that is true. That's not just an extraction shooter problem. That is a problem across the board. I think it's amplified with extraction shooters, though, because it's like, not only are you getting better, literally your skill, but you're getting better gear, like objectively better gear that gives you a massive advantage on top of that skill gap. MBG, how do extraction shooters work? Is it like you keep what you extract, like Call of Duty's DMZ? It's exactly like that. Yeah, Call of Duty's DMZ mode is an extraction shooter. And I know that because I remember playing this as well. If you played, I think I played this one. It was Call of Duty Zombies, where they basically turned it into an extraction shooter. The difference with that, though, is for the Call of Duty Zombies aspect of it, you didn't fight. There was no PvP. You didn't fight other players. It was only PvE. They can make bot lobbies like Fortnite does. Dude, I literally said that to my friend last night. I was like, I'm not going to lie. I wish it was just purely fighting bots, or just like bot even like bots that are supposed to be like real players. I'd be like, I would take that because like I'm desperate for a win, guys. I am desperate for a win. Let me tell you. The hardcore are grinding at the rank. The rest of the map should be more chill. Call of Duty DMZ was actually good, but it's a prime example of how fast it can die without new content. I never really did get the chance to play DMZ. I've heard of it, and I remember when I was playing one of the Call of Duties, I kept seeing it pop up, but I'm like, I'm good, you know? When it comes to Call of Duty, like they did Battle Royale, and then they tried to do Extraction Shooter. Oh, there you are, boss. But for me, Call of Duty was always just like 6v6, man, you know? And maybe like Search and Destroy as the most competitive mode. Here, boss. I knew he would show up. He's just being a little lazy today. He's extra tired today for some reason. Boss, do you not want treats, dude? They're up here. He keeps looking back at me. He thinks I'm like holding them. You think he would know by now? That's the new. There we go. All right, he's got it. He's got it. But yeah, let me go over. So it says here after a 6-month delay from the original launch date of September 23rd, 2025 to March 5th, 2026, Bungie's Marathon was released earlier this month, and it seems like the developer plans to continue working and improving the game for a long time, including the potential addition of frame generation, which is pretty random. Says the game's critical acclaim has been quite positive, though not quite stellar, with an average Metacritic score of 81. And I'm reading an article from WCCF Tech. They say that the person they had review it enjoyed the game more than most other critics, giving it a 9 out of 10. Excuse me. It says user review scores on Steam are also very positive, sitting at 88%. Over 25,000 users have given it a thumbs up. However, the game doesn't seem to be resonating in the same way on the other platforms. According to early estimates from Alinea Analytics, the game has sold 1.2 million units to date, 800,000 of which were sold on Steam, 217,000 on PS5, and 133,000 on Series. This has fans a bit worried about the future of the game. For its part, though, Bungie is all in with post-launch support. In the official PC performance guide, they promised, quote, many years of steady improvements across the entire game. While we are very proud of what we have accomplished with the overall look and feel of the game since the alpha, we are in it for the long haul with Marathon. We look forward to many years of steady improvements to every aspect of the game. Thank you for taking this journey with us. So it says here in closing, ultimately, it will be up to parent company Sony Interactive Entertainment to choose what to do with Marathon. And, you know, on that front, I think Sony will support it. I can't imagine Sony won't give, you know, Bungie the chance to try to, you know, do more with this over time, knowing their history with Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. But I do think that is reassuring. You know, I understand why, especially because we saw what Sony did with Concord, though this is a very different situation. We understand why people are going to be nervous of like, bro, is this game going to be, am I going to have to like try to get the platinum in the next 3 months or something? Because that's the, you know, the only amount of time we're going to have to get it. But Bungie is saying like, no, they're supporting it for years. And so I don't imagine myself, like, even if I do stick with Marathon for a little bit and I really try to figure it out and get good at it, you know, I was kind of thinking, like, what if it did become my new go-to multiplayer? I mean, that would be kind of ironic. That would be a surprise. I'm not expecting that, but I could see myself maybe trying to push through the learning curve, getting better at it, finally getting good at it, getting the platinum, and then maybe continuing to play it for a little while, you know, if me and my buddy are still enjoying it. But I think eventually something else is going to come around and pull me away from it. Or maybe I'm wrong. I mean, again, I am the same guy that put like 1,200 hours into PUBG. And when I first played PUBG, I was awful. I was awful at it, and it took me a long time to get good at that game too. So, does the beast not feast? Introducing bots might work. We have seen bot players in uh, any other extraction shooters before. I don't know, actually. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I know that like in battle royale games they introduce bots, but I don't know if you've ever seen them in extraction shooters, like bots that are supposed to mimic real player behavior. Frame gen in a competitive shooter. Yeah, people seem to hate frame gen, and I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming frame gen can be good if they make improvements to it. Only way is if it becomes free to play. Well, they can always play that card, right? That's always an option for them. If for some reason Marathon does really fall off a cliff very quickly, which some people feel like it already is. Like I have seen some negativity, not a lot, but randomly when scrolling on Twitter, I've seen a couple of like people pointing out like, look, it's already dead and whatnot. And I'm like, eh, I mean, it doesn't seem dead by any means to me, but I do understand it's like it is. You're seeing less and less people like apparently logging in, um, which is not a great sign for a game that's looking to be in it for the long run. But I do wonder if maybe Sony and Bungie are prepared to play that free to play card if need be, if they really end up feeling like, you know what, um, it's our last ditch. I mean, it would show a sign of desperation if they do that, and they can't do it immediately because a lot of people just paid for it. It would take a while. I don't think they could do that for a long time. Drax, you're saying MBG, I upgraded my PS5 Pro yesterday, found a used one at GameStop for $650 and traded in mine for $375. Good upgrade for a cheap price. Really enjoying it so far. I'm happy to hear that, Drax. Yeah, that's a great deal, man. It's funny. It's funny because we were obviously we've been talking all about the PlayStation price increases and um talking all about what it means for the PS6, the pricing. Meanwhile, the past I think Sony just gave themselves the biggest PS5 sales boost they ever have. The amount of people I've been seeing going out and buying PS5 Pros is like, uh, okay. I guess like for a lot of people, that's what they needed. They needed to hear like the price is going up, and they were like, "I'm going for it. I'm doing it." People are panic buying. It's crazy. Um, So we'll see. We'll see what Sony says about their console sales for their next earnings report. You think Lure County, you're saying, in my opinion, they messed it up by making it that art style. I actually kind of like that aspect of it. It's a bit much, it's a little too fluorescent at times, but I do kind of like it. I appreciate that it looks different. I am playing it on the PS5 Pro. I did check; it is using PSSR. I think it's using PSSR 2. Looks very good, and it runs very smooth. But yeah, I'm like, this is different. It's not. Like the graphics don't look cartoony, but they're extremely stylized, and I'm like, that's cool. I like that. A2, you're saying the PS5 Pro is sold out in your country? Damn, dude. The high points are US evenings and still only 40K or so. Yikes. Is that genuinely yikes though? I don't know if that's yikes as much as it's just like not great. Like it's like to me, if they can sustain 40 to 50K or even 30K, but like over the long term, that could work. I mean, maybe that could work. I don't know though. I think the highest highs on Steam for like Destiny 2 were what, like 316,000 concurrent players. And that was many years later though, right? But, it's tough because people are going to compare it to games like Arc Raiders. And it does seem like Arc Raiders has way more people playing it nightly than Marathon does. You got the last used one in a 50-mile radius from you. Damn, dude. That's lucky. People hating on FG is because they've never used it. It's great with VRR and a high base frame rate. In terms of frame generation. eBay has brand new pros for under $500 right now. Are you sure it's not a scam? Because that doesn't sound right. That does not sound right at all. I would be very nervous about buying what is being sold to me as a new PS5 Pro for under $500. I don't know about that. It could be like Temu PS5 Pro. No lie, check it out. Let me go check. I do want to check this. Let's see. PS5 Pro new eBay. That cannot be right, dude. Sony PS5 Pro digital, 2 terabyte, $435. Buy it now. That cannot be real. There's just no way that's real. Yeah, no, they're lying. Dude, it has to be a lie. What did they steal it? What's the seller rating? Oh, man. Joined March 2026. I mean, dude, it's got to be totally fake. If it is real, somebody committed a crime. They joined March 2026. They're selling new PS5 Pros for $435. Somebody, yeah, they're either scamming or, and that's the thing. I don't think you can scam like that on eBay. I could be wrong, but I don't think you can do that. There's another one. PS5 Pro, $440. Buy now. It's the same picture. It's the exact same picture. It says new listing. New listing. Oh man, yeah. Something really shady going on there. There's a third one here. 0% positive. 0% positive. They have no ratings. Guys, I'm going to strongly suggest if you're in the market for a PS5 Pro, you do not buy a $435 PS5 Pro from eBay, from people who have never sold anything on eBay and don't have any reviews or ratings. Yeah, definitely don't do that. But I mean, when it comes to how verifiable eBay is, I actually don't know. I don't buy from eBay that much. That's very, very rare I do. So I don't know what their process is. Like my assumption, do it for science. I won't even want to do it for science. Yo, could you imagine though? Like, could you imagine if it's like, yeah, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to buy this $430 PS5 Pro from eBay, and it comes, and it's like fine. It's like it is brand new. It would still feel wrong because I'm like, this was stolen. Like something is not right here. You know, like there was some kind of heist. You got to do it for science, man. I use eBay a lot. They are really good with customer support. Yeah, like I mean, if you're somebody who were to like fall for something like that and you buy it and it's just an empty box, surely you get your money back. You know, and surely that person doesn't just get away with selling you an empty PS5 Pro box for $430. I mean, that's probably what it is. Probably just an empty box more than anything. Yeah, it's been crazy though, man. The amount of people that I've been seeing talking about, not even talk about, but posting that they're buying a PS5 Pro or they just did. Why is this trending? Today's news: Push Square publishes an article on new PS5 games from Xbox's June showcase. This Person says PlayStation is so dry they're begging for Xbox games. This is not even funny. Here we go. Here we go again. Buckle up. Here we go again, people. We have Leo Jimmy with a $10 super chat. Thank you for that, Leo. He says, MBG money, so sorry. Don't want to derail the conversation. It's fine, dude. But I've been playing Neo 3 and having a blast so much I made a tribute song. Anyway, you could play it. If so, how do I send? I know you like a rock banger. Bro made a song about Neo 3. That's passion. Leo, if you want to send me the song, I could try to play it at the end of the stream before we wrap up. The easiest way to do that would be on the Discord server, which I will drop the link for you. So, Leo, if you're not part of my Discord, here's the link. Anybody can join it. I just ask people to, be respectful in there. And you could send it under there's a specific channel for links. You can drop the link there, and at the end of the stream, I'll check it out. That's crazy, though, man. You must really be liking Neo 3. When you like a game so much, you got to make a song about it. I can appreciate that. I beat you, Ray. I got you this time. But yeah, no, Leo, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the super chat, and I'll be curious to see what it sounds like. MBG, when do you think Sony will announce a state of play for Wolverine? I mean, I'm thinking it might be in the next week or two. It might be too soon. Maybe I'm being too eager with that, but I feel like after the bad news, they're going to want to put something good out. And to me, that seems like a really good way to, let's move on from the bad news that we increased our prices, guys. Let's all tune into a Wolverine state of play to help justify those price increases. The timing feels right to me. But yeah, so Push Square put out an article and they say, see more new PS5 games from Xbox in Bumper June Showcase. That's a weird title. Bumper June Showcase? I like Push Square, but some of the way that they word some things sometimes, I'm like, what the fuck? Who talks like that? Who talks like that? Nobody talks like that. Nobody talks like that. And they just have some of these weird headlines sometimes, and these weird paragraphs or these weird sentences. But I think it's making people really mad. I came for the comments and they did not disappoint. Reminder to Xbox bums. I'm not going to read the rest. With the prices the PS5 will have, it's better to play them on Xbox Series X and S. It's interesting that the person who said that has the most upvotes to Push Square's article. But what's funny about that is maybe no, there's nothing actually funny about that. Because actually, hold on. Xbox Series X new. Let's see. How much is it? An Xbox Series X new is the cheapest I could find it new. $600 for the all digital white version or whatever, and then $650 for Series X. So it's the same price. It's the same price. So I don't know that person is as correct as they want to think they are. With the price the PS5 will have, it's better to play it on Series S and X. They're both the same price now. I mean, maybe if you're talking about a Series S is $400. I'm not trying to be that guy, man, but who would pay $400 for a Series S? You would literally be better off saving up money, waiting and saving up money to actually buy a PS5 digital or a Series X for that matter. But yeah, this article seems to be really upsetting some people. Person says an outlet called Push Square. It seems like most readers would be PlayStation focused. I love Xbox, but there will be PlayStation logos on games. It's okay to make an article for your reader base that's just sharing more games. Some of the comments I'm seeing are telling of what I will not be doing as an Xbox fan. Okay. PS5 has no games when you beg for Xbox games all the time. Xbox is the number 5 publisher based on ratings. Sony's number 21. Sony's first party game attach rate 0.3% of PS5 owners bought Marathon. Like, dude, bro is so ready to fight in the Twitter comment section. He has attach rate percentages ready to go. Oh man. See, this is the problem, man. Like, the problem is people get too upset over things that are just true. This person says it's hilarious. So many Microsoft published games are doing well on the PlayStation platform, yet Sony fanboys claim these games are trash. Well, which games are doing so well? I'm asking seriously, which games are doing extremely well on PlayStation that have been called trash? I know Forza Horizon 5 was the big one. Forza Horizon 5 was the big one that really sold very well on PlayStation. And I don't think anybody ever called Forza Horizon trash. Gears of War Remastered didn't do well. I don't think Avowed did well. I don't think Indiana Jones did well. What other games are? You know what? I think Starfield is going to do really well. Starfield looks like it's. I mean, that's like the number 1 pre-order. So that could be part of it. But is it fair to say that Starfield has been vastly improved upon? Is it fair to say that? I'm asking. I haven't played it. I don't know. I actually don't know. My assumption is that Starfield is much better now than it was at launch, like 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago. No, it's the same. Oh man, okay. Well, if you're telling me it's the same, then all right. Then we can count that as a game that, if it does really well on PlayStation, I won't lie. I've seen a lot of people calling it trash. People won't be able to. There will not be a gotcha moment for me, not MBG with Starfield, because I'm not playing that no matter what. You couldn't pay me to play that. Well, maybe you could. If you pay me enough, I might. You know what, actually? How much do you guys want to pay me to force myself to play Starfield? I might have to refund people. It's like, guys, I literally can't do it. I'm giving you your money back. It's definitely not the same MBG. I don't know. You'll be playing Duskbloods in GTA 6 instead. Apparently, Duskbloods is coming out at the end of this year. There have been multiple big updates to Starfield. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is it going to get like re-reviewed? I just think that's crazy, man. Like, how is Push Square's article upsetting people so much? Like, how is it triggering Xbox fanboys this badly? Like, I thought we were past this. And I mean that. I sincerely mean that. Where it's like, guys, I really thought we were past this. You know? The gameplay mechanics are the same. I'll be curious. I mean, listen, if there's anybody here who's planning on playing Starfield on PS5 or the new expansion or whatever with the big update, and you played it at launch, let me know. On April 7th, when it comes out, let me know if it's actually feels like Starfield 2.0 or not. Because I feel like Todd Howard, he was like, yeah, no, it's not that. You think they'd be used to Xbox games releasing on PlayStation already? I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of Xbox players who are, but I'm just surprised that Push Square Let me I'm gonna read the article and see if they like said something, you know? Like if they rage baited or something like that. Because the title of the article is not that bad. Buttery Cheeks with a $5 super chat says, MBG, do you think at this point Gorilla is afraid to release Horizon Hunters Gathering after the fate of Concord and Marathon's tepid performance? It's a great question. My answer to that is they have to be. They have to be to a certain extent. More so, I would say, because the reaction. Here's the irony, right? The irony is that even though Marathon's performance is not amazing, the response to their initial reveal for Marathon, not back in 2023, but last year when they were like, we're going to finally show the gameplay and show you what this game's all about, it was not negative. You know, it wasn't negative. People were pretty okay with it, and people were actually excited. What really hurt Marathon leading up to what it was supposed to be its launch last year was the plagiarism thing. That derailed it completely. But putting that as, that's like a unique situation where it's like, okay, well, I don't think, you know, I don't think that's going to be a problem for Gorilla. Gorilla is facing a bigger problem than Marathon ever did, which is people are up like kind of upset with this game. Like if you look at the response on the PlayStation YouTube channel, not to say that that should be the only thing you look at, but you look at the like to dislike ratio, but then you just look at the fact that there's very few people actually excited to play it. I do think that's something, if the reports that we have heard are true, and I'm assuming they are, that yes, the entirety of Guerrilla Games is working on this and they do not have Horizon 3 ready to go anytime soon, they should be nervous. They really should be, because it's like, guys, you spent 6 to 7 years developing this game. You're going through with it. I don't know. I think that they should be a little bit nervous. How could you not be? Will it be a massive flop? Look, man, I'm not in one of these moods today where I'm looking to beat games down and be super negative. But I just can't. I have to be truthful in that. Like, I do think Horizon Hunters Gathering is going to flop, and I think it's going to flop hard, and I think it's going to be a wake up call for Guerrilla Games, and I think it's going to be, it's going to be something that leaves them in a, I don't want to say a dangerous position, but a position where they realize, like, well, we got to start making Horizon 3 right now. Horizon never flops. I mean, that's not necessarily true. The Horizon Lego game kind of flopped. It didn't do well. Horizon VR, I granted, here's what I want to say though. Like, these products that were made with the Horizon brand, I don't think the expectation was high. But that's what's different is, like, did Guerrilla Games make Horizon Call of the Mountain? No. Did they make Horizon Lego? No. They set aside a little bit of money to, fund other teams to make it. But really, like, this is where I think it's different, where with Hunter's Gathering, it's like, no, like, this is our big game. This is our big AAA game we spent 6 years developing. That to me is like, oh no. Like, guys, I wish you the best. But, my assessment on this, buckle up, because it ain't going to be pretty. Even if it's good. That's the thing. Like, even if the gameplay is good, even if, there are some hardcore Horizon fans playing it, having fun, we just have to keep in mind that, you know, investing 5, 6, 7 years of AAA development time for a game that comes out to, like, it's like why we're talking about Marathon, where it's like, even though Marathon isn't flopping per se, it's not looking great. it's hard to say what the health of this game will be in 3 months' time. Um, there is just the reality that, like, my God, Sony lost a lot of money, and Bungie lost a lot of money, and we look at how many layoffs are already occurring in the industry. We look at how volatile everything already is, and I just feel like, man, I hope the perfect storm isn't brewing for Gorilla. That's what I hope. I hope it's not. Like who knows? Maybe I'll even say screw it. I'll try the game if they do like an open beta and see for myself. Like, is it actually bad? Does it feel bad to play? Um, Aesthetically, I think it's unappealing to a lot of people. Man, my throat's killing me today. We have a Vlund with a $5 super chat. He says some RAM prices are now lowering by 50% due to better AI with less hardware needed. Hearing Marathon only sold 1.2 million and concurrent players are lowering. Yeah, we were just talking about that, Vlund. We'll have to see what happens with Marathon. But I mentioned that briefly earlier too, that it looks like RAM prices are already starting to go down. And, I think that this is leaving some people hopeful that maybe the price of these consoles will go down. Maybe. You know what they say? Once they go up, they never go back down. I don't know that that's necessarily true, but at the very least, regardless of whether or not the PlayStation 5 prices stabilize and go back to normal, if the RAM situation stabilizes and goes back to normal, we can maybe rest assured that the PS6 will not be nearly as expensive as some believed it would be. And Chris Brown with a $2 chat says replayed Killzone 2 and 3. Shocking. It's the same studio. I mean, I understand. Yeah, I understand why Guerrilla wanted to move on from Killzone. And I understand why Guerrilla's so obsessed with Horizon. Horizon has made them way more money. I mean, dude, it's not even comparable. Horizon made them more money than Killzone ever did or ever could. And I get it. But, you know what I think would be cool? I wish Guerrilla would be willing to get more creative with the Horizon IP, where like rather than a Genshin Impact / Fortnite looking, co-op Horizon game that, here's a really weird looking version of Aloy and stuff. Rather than that, what if they were like, we're going to do a first person shooter set in the Horizon universe. It's a prequel. It's like during the war against the, you know, the machines, but as the machines were like taking over Earth. Like that would be sick. That would be awesome. And like that to me would be like, it's still in the Horizon universe, but it's something totally different. And it also kind of harkens back to, to what this studio did in the past, where it's like, oh yeah, we did make first person shooters. I wish they would be more willing to do something like that rather than be like, we got to make our own Fortnite Monster Hunter, man. Like, I mean, I guess you can try, but. And Leo Jimmy with a $5 super chat. You're saying MBG money. I got it in there. When you gonna play it? When are you gonna play it? I don't want to miss it. I want to see your live reaction. I still haven't beat Elden Ring. 400 hours is enough, I guess. LOL, bro. Leo, it's been like how many years? You still haven't beaten Elden Ring? Damn, dude. Well, hey, play. I guess just keep playing. I don't know. Maybe don't beat it. That's okay. You don't have to beat it. You don't have to. Leo, I'm probably gonna play it. I want to play it closer to the end of the stream, just because if I play it now, I might be giving people the wrong impression. They might think I'm ending the stream and they might leave. Or so right now we are at an hour and 43 minutes. It's hard to say when I'll end my stream. I'll see where we are at the 3 hour mark. So at 3 p.m., I'll see where we are, and if I feel like I'm going to wrap it up soon, I'll play it then. If not, might be like another hour. We will see. But Leo, thank you, man. Thank you for joining the Discord and sending that. Gears of War E-Day on PS5? I think so. Also need to mention Killzone 2 and 3 still looking freaking amazing on an OLED TV. Yeah, dude. Oh, Leo, you're saying you moved on already? Yeah, probably for the best at this point. Dude, going back, somebody mentioning Gears of War, though, like, let me go back to this Push Square article that's getting hated on so much. All right, I clicked on it. The title is See More New PS5 Games from Xbox in Bumper June Showcase. Microsoft has announced its annual Xbox Game Showcase, which is the company's biggest live stream of the year. It'll take place on Sunday, June 7th, 2026. As its games increasingly become third-party efforts with the PS5 version, you can expect to see many future PlayStation titles during this broadcast. On the Xbox Wire, okay, there'll be a Gears of War E-Day Direct. The prequel has not been confirmed for PS5 yet, but following the release of Gears of War Reloaded last year, the new entry is expected to release on PS5. In terms of Xbox titles already announced for PS5, the show will likely have updates for Forza Horizon 6, Halo Campaign Evolved, and Fable, in addition to games like Clockwork Revolution. If the plan from Sony is the same as the past handful of years, then there will be a substantial State of Play live stream in late May from PlayStation, a few weeks before this Xbox showcase. It's usually one of the brand's biggest live streams with important updates from PlayStation studios and third-party developers. So why are people getting this mad at Push Square's article, dude? Like, they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't even say anything wrong. I think, dude, I think the people who are reacting this negatively to this article are exposing themselves as kind of like triggered fanboys. Where like, and dude, look at the name of these people who get upvotes. Again, it's hilarious that so many PlayStation or Microsoft published games are doing well on PlayStation platform, yet Sony fanboys claim these games are trash. These games are trash. This person's name is literally gaming on only PC hardware and PC handheld. Like, it's like they don't even try to hide it, man. They don't even make an attempt. They literally are telling you. They're telling you. But yeah, I really did think that we were past this, because what a bad end for PlayStation fanboys to wait for the Xbox showcase to get some interesting titles. It's good that one of the console manufacturers makes enough games to have a showcase. Ooh, okay, that's a burn. That I'll let that one pass, because yeah, Sony hasn't done an actual showcase in years. I'll let that one pass. Let me see here. This used to be an L on Xbox. Now it just looks embarrassing to see PlayStation promote and hype it up. Dudes are literally begging for Xbox games now. PlayStation fans, when they see an Xbox game, it's a picture of Squidward begging in a cardboard box. We went from Xbox has no games to thank you, Xbox, for your games. The console war is over. Jeez, man. Well, I have some bad news for those specific Xbox fanboys. Hold on. I have to reply snarkily to this person. I don't. So, yeah, we're gonna do some Twitter reacting live. You ready? I put out a post today. So, the new Xbox CEO Asha Sharma, she says Sunday, June 7th is locked in. Xbox Game Showcase 2026 is almost here with a deep dive into Gears of War E-Day Direct. In my first month, I heard clearly that our community values Xbox FanFest. As part of the return of Xbox, we made the decision to bring it back to LA to recognize the players who've been with us over the years. Looking forward to celebrating. Now, if you go under her post, there's a barrage of Xbox players basically begging her to bring back exclusivity. and I highlighted it. This person says it's also very important for the Xbox players that Xbox games are Xbox exclusive. Those games won't mean anything, and Xbox will be irrelevant if Xbox games are released on PS5. How many times can you say Xbox in a single uh, 2 sentences, man? A single 2 sentences, that makes sense. In a single paragraph, I mean. This other person says, please, Asha Sharma, tell me Gears of War E-Day is Xbox only. And then somebody else says, keep Xbox games exclusive to Xbox. Don't give them to PlayStation. They bring you nothing. They dominate, and Xbox loses a lot of customers because of non-exclusive titles. Now, I want to make it clear that these ones that I'm highlighting, these responses that Asha Sharma is getting, these are the ones that are getting the most upvotes. Like, many people are agreeing with this. And so this person says to me, he says, PlayStation gamers want Xbox games. Look at them fill up the comments on the Xbox showcase. And it's like, yes. Yeah, like I want to highlight this for a moment because it's like this is not a gotcha. And I don't know why so many Xbox players think it is. Like, you guys want Xbox games, gotcha. You want Oh wait, you're telling me that the biggest publisher in the world, the biggest publisher who bought dozens of games and studios that always released on PlayStation, decided they're going to keep releasing those games on PlayStation, but then also said games that we've never released on PlayStation before, we're going to release those too. And you're actually going to try to weaponize that and make it seem like it's some kind of gotcha moment, that a console install base of nearly 100 million, that there's going to be millions of people who are interested in that and excited for that. To me, this is where you continue to see that so many people in this space that talk about being anti-console war, anti-fanboy, in reality, they're just radicalized on the opposite end, where you're so afraid of coming off as a fanboy that you go all the way to the other end extreme, where it's like, okay, maybe we can say you're not a fanboy, you're just a crazy person now. You're just a maniac. You're just a lunatic, basically, who's looking to try to, get these gotcha moments and get these W's, when in reality, it's like you sound stupid. And that's what I think is kind of strange to see this, where it's like, it's not stupid, and actually makes complete sense. A website that covers PlayStation, informing their reader base that this gaming company, that again is the biggest publisher in the world, is holding their annual showcase where you're going to see a ton of PS5 games that some of them, maybe a lot of them, you might be interested in. That makes complete sense. That actually tracks. What doesn't make sense at all are people looking at that and, again, turning to those PlayStation players and trying to make it seem like somehow they are either foolish or in the wrong for feeling excited about that. Because, newsflash for all Xbox players out there, okay? And I would love to see them deny this. Because if they tried to deny this, they would reveal their hand and they would realize how dumb they look. It's undeniable. Newsflash, if Sony announced they are bringing their games to Xbox players would be literally, no joke, some of them probably out there holding parties and celebrating. Okay? So would you see some of the same snark from from a certain group of PlayStation players? Yes. You would see PlayStation players be like, I thought you didn't like God of War, but now that it's on Xbox, you like it. And then I say, yeah, of course they're going to like it. Like, there's millions of people. Well, I mean, I'm assuming there's still millions of people that play on Xbox where it's like, dude, if if they gain access to Sony's games where they don't have to go to PlayStation, they're going to be happy. You know, I just I just think if anything, it proves something true. You know, it reveals something. It reveals a greater truth. And that greater truth is that no matter what people say, no matter who you listen to, at the end of the day, there's always going to be a quote unquote console war. But that's the thing. Well, maybe it's not about consoles anymore. Maybe now it's just about publishing. Now there are the publisher wars. And if it's not about publishing, then it will be about the platform. So it will be the platform wars. And this is where you realize that the cycle will never end and it will never stop. And people will always just continue to move the goalposts and create these narratives in an effort to just keep the cogs turning, dude. No pun intended, since we've been talking about Gears of War. And I just think it's ridiculous where it's like it would be a great benefit to gaming discourse if more people could just look at things for what they really are and acknowledge them for what they are without getting so nonsensical about it, without, being triggered into oblivion. Like, it's okay to have your grievances and your annoyances. I crash out sometimes myself, but it's like the reality of the situation, no matter what any Xbox player, what any Xbox fanboy wants to say, is that Microsoft turned to PlayStation players and said, we are going to work for you now. Okay? And in turn, we hope we can earn some of your money. Microsoft did that. Sony didn't ask them to, nor did PlayStation players ask them to. And now that they're doing that, they want PlayStation players to tune in to these showcases. Because yes, that's who they're trying to sell games to alongside Xbox players. Is that a bad? No, I don't think that's a bad. I mean, it's only a bad thing if you are worried about the Xbox console becoming less and less relevant. That's the only time it's a bad thing. So that's why I think when you look at, and really, let's zoom out for a second here. What are we really looking at? What we're really looking at is you're seeing different groups of Xbox players kind of all displaced, right? Where if you look at Asha Sharma's post, you see so many people flooding her post begging for Xbox exclusivity again. Those are the Xbox fans that don't want to see the Xbox console become more and more relevant, that do believe that exclusives will keep the console relevant. At least it'll stop it from becoming any more irrelevant, right? You go to Push Square's article and you just see a barrage of not even just Xbox players, but PC players. They're Shadowlink. I'm gonna play that in just a second. You see a barrage of Xbox and even non-Xbox players just basically trying to dunk on Push Square for letting their PlayStation reader base know that Xbox announced their showcase, and more than likely every game that's announced there will be coming at PlayStation. Not because we're begging for it, not because we're hoping for it, but because Microsoft literally told us that for the last 2 years. One of these things makes sense, the other doesn't. The people who are asking Microsoft to return to exclusivity, that actually makes sense to me. Yeah, I get it. You want to see the console do better? What'll help do that? Exclusives. Yeah. If you like console gaming and you want to see it thrive, sure, I get it. You want to see the platform do well? You want to see it have its, really like carved out identity for the box itself? Sure. What doesn't make sense are people, again, trying to get a gotcha moment when it's like the only gotcha moment is when Microsoft made a lot of these fanboys look completely foolish when after they bought Bethesda and after they bought Activision Blizzard, a lot of these fanboys were like, We got those exclusives now, man. Let me show you the infograph of all the games that are going to be Xbox exclusive now. When in reality, it's like, dude, even Halo isn't going to be exclusive. Those are the only people that got. And it was by Microsoft themselves. So really what you're just seeing is a projection. Truthfully, is a projection of people getting triggered because they know that. And so what they have to do is they have to try to flip that on. Well, let me guess. Starfield's a good game now because it's on PlayStation. Or maybe it's a good game because, Bethesda had 2 years to fucking fix it and make it better. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. This is where I'm just saying, or we could all just look at things for what they are and say that Xbox is the biggest publisher in the world. Because of that, they have a much higher chance of making good, better games that are more wide appealing now to more people. And it also explains why they're going to want to be multi-platform. And that's okay. That's totally fine. There doesn't have to be any negative aspect to that. I don't know. Shadowlink, I'm sorry, buddy. He did a $6 direct donation. He says, heck yeah, MBG. There are games from Xbox that I could care less about, and some I've wanted to play, but not buying an Xbox for it. But now it's on PlayStation, I'd buy. And that's the thing. Shadowlink, the logic you just put out there applies to everybody to a certain extent. And that's what I just wish more people would admit and acknowledge. And I don't even want to say admit because it shouldn't have to be an admission. It's just, it's common sense. It's common sense that even with PlayStation, Saros is a game that if an Xbox or PC player told me, I'm buying no PlayStation for Saros, bro. Don't get me wrong, Saros looks pretty good. So it looks okay. But I don't know. I'm not buying a PlayStation for it. Wolverine, though, I'm buying a PlayStation to play Wolverine day one. I get that. That, to me, that, yeah, I totally get it. There are certain games, and really, I'm pointing that out because it's think about it in reverse. Where imagine if Saros and Wolverine were announced to be going to Xbox and going to PC, right? It would be very difficult for me to call out Xbox players. I'd be like, I thought you weren't excited. I thought you didn't like. I mean, if we're talking about certain individuals who literally went on record shouting from the rooftops they hate PlayStation games, and that's different. That's different. But I'm talking generally speaking, it's if somebody said, I wasn't going to buy a console. I was thinking about buying a PlayStation for Wolverine, but not really. I'm just going to stick to where I am. I don't feel like moving. But now that I can buy Wolverine for 60 or 70 bucks, I guess it would be 70, day one on my Xbox, hell yeah. I think what I'm really just trying to explain here is the simple logic of if a video game company says, you don't need to do anything. We're not. You only have to do one thing. Click the button on your controller a couple times. Navigate to the store. Click add to cart and check out. That's what you need to do. Versus you're going to need to go buy a $500 or $600 console now, or $900 console now. We need to buy a $900 console, son. You want to play this game? And it's just not difficult to wrap your head around. One of those things is going to make a lot more people smile and be like, you know what? Okay, now you have my attention. Versus with the other, it's you have my attention, but I'm good. I'm good. I appreciate what you're doing. I'm good. I'm not moving. And that's why I just try to explain to people, it's the dichotomy of it, man. It's the dichotomy of you have one company telling you, you don't have to move, bro. We're coming to you. Just press a couple buttons on your controller and you can have it all. Everything we're doing, you can have it. Yes, that's right. Even in the places you weren't allowed to have it before. And the other company, that being Sony, is like, we're making it even harder now. We're not even going to release these things on PC anymore. So in other words, like, yes, we want you to move, bro. And we're going to push you to move, whether you like it or not. And I get it. Like, people are going to say, like, people are going to have opinions on that. Where people are going to say, man, I wish Sony would do what Microsoft is doing. And it's like, yeah, but keep in mind, Sony's selling consoles, dude. Like, en masse. And I get it. But it's like, people don't say this about Nintendo. And it's like, why? Because they're trying to sell Switches. And they are. This is also why you still see certain Xbox fans begging Asha Sharma for exclusivity again. It's just a matter of looking at different business models, different business decisions and strategies, and understanding that there are pros and cons to both, and you as the individual have to decide for yourself how much that impacts you. You know, it's I forget who said it earlier, but they were like, the Xbox fanboy in me says I want Gears to be exclusive, but the gamer in me says, I'm totally okay if it goes everywhere. And it's like, I get that. Because to me, that makes total sense, because it's like, you come from Xbox from a different era, the majority of what Xbox was, whereas for like 21 or 22 years, where it's like, yes, exclusives matter, man. That's what sells the console. Yeah, Unico, that was you, bro. And that is like, you're acknowledging the pros and the cons, where if it was exclusive, you're not going to be like, you're gonna be like, okay. Oh, you're trying to move your console, bro. You're trying to get your console out there in more people's hands. All right. Yeah, I like the console. I'm all for that. If they're not, and they say it's going everywhere, you're like, okay, just have to accept they don't really care about trying to sell the console. They don't really care whether people want to buy it or not. And the pro to that is, yeah, more people you can play it wherever you want. You can buy it wherever you want. I think it just comes down to, truthfully, it comes down to your view of console gaming, And I see we have multiple super chats here from Zanarkan Blitzer. Right now he has a 5-parter, but I'm not sure if it's done yet. I'll wait for his signal so I can read it all. Zanarkan, you just let me know, bro, when I'm good to read these. And thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. I don't know, man. I know that by me acknowledging it, I know that by me, you know, putting this stuff out here, I know it's kind of keeping it alive, but I'm putting it out here to basically say, like, we should, you know, I even try to say this stuff to PlayStation, like hardcore PlayStation fans. Like, I get it, I see people, they want to, they want to kind of get aggressive with PC players or Xbox players. And I think sometimes you should, under the right circumstances, where it's like, if you're encountering somebody who really is just being unreasonable and being ridiculous and being nonsensical, But I don't know. I just wish more people would wake up in this space when where we're having gaming discourse and we're seeing major changes occur, and understand that, like, you don't have to have such a big problem with most of the things that are actually going on. There are some things you probably should have a problem with, like the price increases and stuff. But with stuff like this, it's like, there should be no problem with Push Square putting out an article saying there's going to be new PS5 games shown at the Xbox showcase. There should be no problem with that. Just like if Sony said publicly that we're putting all of our games on Xbox, if Sony did that, and then in Xbox, Windows Central put out an article saying there's going to be new Xbox games shown at the next State of Play. Yes, Like factually, literally, yes. Yes. But you know, I'm just a crazed fanboy losing my mind out here on the battlefield. I've been shell shocked. Speaking of shell shocked, that's the first game Guerrilla Games ever developed. Shell shocked, Nom 67, bro. I'm not kidding. Look into it. That's right. Guerrilla Games' first game was a Vietnam third-person shooter. I'm thinking Zanarkan's ready for me to read his chats. I'm pretty sure because they stopped. So I'm going to read them. Hopefully that's okay, Zanarkan. I'm going to assume I got the green light. He says, MBG, can you catch me up on the latest PlayStation and gaming news regarding these topics? Sony shuts down another PlayStation studio. Oh, wait, no, he's still going. Hold on. I said that. He's still going. All right, I'm going to wait. It was going to be a whole topic in and of itself. Wait, hold on. You're saying, sorry, MBG, if it's not allowed here? What are you talking about? Oh, could you put a poll up to rate how hot Asha is? I know you saw my comment. I'd give her a 7. Oh, no, well, I mean, that's not like, I'm not offended by that, but no, I'm not going to do that here. I'll leave that to other channels. All right, you're done for now? Okay, thank you, Zanarkan. I got the green light. All right, let's start again. So Zanarkan says, MBG, can you catch me up on the latest PlayStation and gaming news regarding these topics? Sony shuts down another PlayStation studio. Ben Studio, ? Massive PS5 price increases. Consoles, PS5 and PS5 Pro, or games, or both. So Sony did shut down a studio, unfortunately. They shut down 2 studios. It's making me relive. I'm having flashbacks. They shut down Blue Point Games, which is... I'll never understand that. But they also shut down Dark Outlaw Games. Dark Outlaw Games was making apparently not a live service game, but I think a single player / co-op game. They were announced to be a first party PlayStation studio March last year. They were shut down just a couple days ago. And Jason Blundell, the studio head, he actually came out and he said there's no ill will between them and PlayStation. He was just explaining that it was a business decision. Sony made a big strategic shift internally. And so, you know, it's unfortunate. So 2 studios shut down. And then, yes, there was a massive PlayStation price increase announced just the other day where the base PS5 digitally is going to be $600. The disc model is going to be $650. And the PlayStation 5 Pro is now going to be $900 US dollars for those. Here you go, Clark. And you mentioned Ben Studio. Ben Studio was not shut down. As far as I'm aware, last we heard with Ben Studio is Ben Studio, they had a new game greenlit. So they're working on something new. It doesn't mean it couldn't get canceled, and it doesn't mean they couldn't get shut down. But right now, for now, Ben Studio seems safe. Now that I've said that out loud, they'll probably get shut down tomorrow. And there have been no price increases for games yet. So the price increases for now were just for the consoles. And you say here, part 2, Sony taking PlayStation back to basics. Kaz Hirai returning. I love how he's in your picture, your profile picture. New Ridge Racer game. PS6 manufacturing cost and retail price $399, $449. No. Yes and no. Yes to PlayStation kind of going back to the basics. Sony's pulling back from PC. There have been, now it's important to note here, Sony has not officially confirmed themselves. They have not spoken about it. They haven't said that they're not releasing their single player games on PC anymore, but there have been multiple insider reports from reputable, insiders and leakers saying that internally Sony has made the decision to no longer release their single player games onto PC. So games like Saros, Wolverine, and future single player titles will not be coming to PC at any point in time. So in that sense, they kind of are going back to basics. Live service games will stay on PC. Any live service games they release, which makes sense. Will there be a new Ridge Racer? I don't think so, unfortunately. And when you talk about PS6 manufacturing cost and retail price, you're saying $399, $449? No, honestly, we are having conversations right now about the idea of a PlayStation 6 launching at $700, $800, somewhere along those lines, without the disc drive. So, a lot could change. We don't know if it's going to be $700 or $800. We just know that right now, the base PS5 is $600 and $650, and it's looking very much like the PS6 is going to be. It's looking very much like the PS6 is going to be more expensive than that when it launches. Hold on, I lost your chat here. And then you're saying part 3, Crimson Desert is dividing players. No story spoilers. Is it open world? Is it true there's a lack of story, structure, objectives, etc.? It is dividing players, but it does seem to be doing well. My understanding with Crimson Desert and Arcane is it's unlike most games where you have to keep in mind this is an MMORPG studio. It's their first attempt making a massive single player game. So there's a lot of stuff in this game that really would be reserved for like MMORPGs in terms of mechanics and structure. But they basically were like, we're making it single player. It is open world. It's massive. It's a colossal open world. I can't confirm this about the story, the structure, and the objectives, or specifically the story. I haven't played Crimson Desert, but from my understanding, the story of Crimson Desert is like non-existent / not good and like incoherent. I think the developer, even Pearl Abyss, they even commented on this saying we wish we would have done a better job with that. So I'm going to say, of all the reasons to consider playing Crimson Desert, the story might not be one of them. So that I think, yeah, be wary of that. And part 4, you're saying, e.g. no object. Oh, sorry, this was a continuation. No objectives like locate and rescue Sokolov, or get the shell strut D, or neutralize all the bombs planted by Fat Man, etc. Crimson Desert is like a simulation game. Other issues of the game. Actually, I'm going to refer to my chat on this one to help us out because I don't know. Like, the only thing I know about Crimson Desert is that it's extremely open in that you can do what you want. And I have heard that the game does not hold your hand. So it does sound to me like it really doesn't tell you what to do. And it does lean much more on the side of you have to just kind of figure it out yourself. And, but the thing I don't know, Arcane, I don't know if that extends for the entire game. Like, I'm sure there are some objectives, like there are some things where it's like, go do this and go do that, where you're not completely in the dark. But in order to experience the vast majority of the game, it does seem like you have to just kind of be free and go see what happens, see what you discover. So if you're looking, what I will say, the examples you gave, like for Metal Gear Solid, yeah, no, I don't think it's going to be like that at all. And let me see here. We have part 5. DLSS5 drama with gamers, AI generation messing with game visuals, and other new PlayStation and gaming news. Okay, yeah, the DLSS5 thing. What I will tell you as an Arcane is if you have free time, if you want, I think it was like a week ago, I did a whole dedicated stream talking about the DLSS5 announcement, and we had some good conversation about that. But yeah, what you need to know about that is it seems like NVIDIA has their work cut out for them, where they're going to have to potentially go back to the drawing board and figure out a way to incorporate this technology that doesn't infuriate gamers and make people absolutely despise it. There are some people who believe that there's potential, and they believe that it's even good, and it can, it is a game changer for titles like Starfield. But what people seem to have a major problem with is how this technology, DLSS 5, that is, it seems to really mess with and alter the artist's original intent. Sometimes to a really significant degree, like what you saw with the example of Grace Ashcroft with Resident Evil Requiem. So, yeah, DLSS 5, really the takeaway there. Most people hate it. Some people like it. A few people like it, but it's going to need to go back to the drawing board if they want it to actually catch on and work. And it's early. It's early. So we'll see what happens with that. And part 6, you're saying new PlayStation OG, GOAT, Kaz Hirai, holding the PS3 Slim avatar profile picture. MBG, PlayStation back to basics. Kaz Hirai, his awaited return. MBG, did you like Kaz Hirai? Jack Trenton, other OGs, PlayStation legends. Kaz Hirai is the GOAT. Jack Trenton is cool too. And then you say Hanzo Reza, Andrew House, the GOAT. Zanarkand Blitzer agrees as well. Yeah, so the thing with Kaz Hirai is I wasn't really paying attention. When he was in charge of things at PlayStation, and like when Sony did their E3 conference revealing the PS3, I wasn't even aware, like, at that time. I didn't watch E3 at that time. I was like tapped in to a degree, but mainly through like gaming magazines and stuff. But yeah, I just remember hearing about the PS3 and hearing how it's like coming a year later, and it was like very expensive. So the Kaz Hirai era, I never really got to partake in that. For me, it was when we started to see things with like the Xbox One and the PS4, uh, the Phil Spencer / Andrew House / Jack Trenton, seeing Mark Cerny up there with the PS4 reveal. That for me was like when I really started to kind of tune in to like, oh wait, who are these guys? Oh, so these are the people who run this stuff, huh? And the one that really stands out to me, Andrew House there's like two moments for the PS4 gen that stand out to me, that even as somebody who was on Xbox at the time, I was like, what? Well, there's three. There's actually three. Um, the first one was Jack Trenton delivering his speech explaining what the PS4 gen looks like, and like basically cementing at that time like Xbox's demise, where people were literally cheering for like 2 minutes straight. They got like a standing ovation, and I was like, what is happening, dude? I remember when I saw that, and I was like, man, Jack, like, you could see Jack Trenton. He had this kind of like smile, and he's like, ain't ever gonna get better than this. My life has peaked. But yeah, you have permission to subscribe. Yeah, you can subscribe to the channel. The second thing I remember not too long after that was that video that Sony put out. Utterly, I mean, dude, just salt to the wound, where it's like, here's how you share your games on PlayStation. And it was Shuhei Yoshida and Adam Boyce, and he handed him the game. I'm like, I remember at the time, I'm like, Sony, please stop. Like, dude, they're already dead. Like, what are you doing, man? But then the third one, and this was the one that actually got me, where I'm like, Sony got me, dude, is when Andrew House announced their partnership with Kojima, and they made a big deal about it. They had that big video where it was Andrew House and Kojima talking, and I'm like, bro, no way. I'm like, they got me, man. So I even remember at that time, even though I was playing on Xbox, I knew, I'm like, well, I'm gonna get a PS4 to play whatever Kojima's next game is. So yeah, those were really like the executives, and I think also about, unfortunately, like, I think about Jim Ryan too. When it comes to PlayStation executives, although I think, yeah, Jim Ryan, I don't know that he's going to be remembered too fondly. The only thing I really want to acknowledge with Jim Ryan that I think he did do right, and I think he does deserve credit for this. He deserves a lot of flack, But I think people underestimate how difficult it was probably for him and his team at the time to make sure the PS5 launched as successfully as it did during the middle of a global pandemic. So I will give him that credit where like I imagine that was very difficult and there's very few people on the planet that would have been qualified to actually pull that off successfully. Um, but then he made a bunch of, I think, big mistakes that, you know, have put Sony in a less than ideal position afterwards. But, I also think of Mark Cerny, of course. He's cool. What's cool about Mark Cerny is everybody loves Mark Cerny. You can't hate Mark Cerny. And Znarkan with another chat, you're saying new room, MBG, nice. Garage with mold outbreak again? No, believe it or not, Znarkan, I want to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you questions, Znarkan. I'm going to turn it on you and ask you, where do you think I am in my home right now? Where do you think this room is? Nobody tell him. Nobody tell him. That room is CGI. It is. Yes, it's not real. Have you seen me walk back there? Oh wait, you've seen the cats come in. Never mind. It's the Helix room. MBG, you really have to try out Demon Souls with PSSR 2.0 enabled. It literally looks way better than native 4K. That's present in its quality mode. It's insane. I have Demon Souls. Maybe I'll re-download it and check it out. Ain't no way. It's a closet. Yeah, it's a closet in my home. It's a penthouse suite. MBG's Muscle Cave, pretty close. Pretty close. So actually, right here, you can see the trim of there's a doorway. Right in here is my little home gym. I got my drums over there. No, this is my basement, Zanarkan. I'm glad you appreciate the new room, and this basically for the entire month of March, my father-in-law was he basically like this whole wall here, the wall back there, the door, none of this stuff was here. He built all of it. And Mrs. MBG painted the walls. And we basically, I invested a little bit of money to redo the basement and create this office/gaming space over here. There's a little workout area. So I'm glad you like it, man. I'm really, really happy with it too. Are those Charlie Brown lamps? Dude, I get people get hung up on the lamps sort of like, bro, it's very 70s. It's very 70s. People don't, not everybody likes the vibe. I don't know. Listen, if you want to know with the lamps, the thing about it is like, you have to try to keep in mind that this area I'm in right now, also that extends all the way over here that you can't see, it's a, entire basement or entire half of a basement. There was just, yeah, we don't talk about the dungeon. There was so much stuff. Guys, I have a picture. I can't show it to you because it would give away where I live, but I remember I took a picture of the trash that I put outside just for like remembrance of like, holy shit. And one of my goals when I was redoing the basement was I wanted to make sure to try to utilize as much stuff that I had stored down here that wasn't being used if it wasn't broken or messed up. And these two lamps were in perfect condition. And I forgot that I even had them. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just use that. Like, I'm not going to buy new lamps, and I didn't really even think about what they look like. The chevron design or whatever, I'm like, they look fine to me and I kind of like them. So they offset the monotone look a little bit. Yeah, I kind of like that too. They stick out a little bit. But yeah, man, I'm extremely happy with the way everything turned out. I've been talking to you guys about it, and it's awesome, man. It's awesome. I've been gaming back there. It's been real nice. That soundproofing is not just for YouTube, it's part of the dungeon. What, guys? Quiet. Ray, quiet. No, you, what? Of course I need the entire wall soundproofed. Okay? It's you. Yes, I need it to be quiet. You know what the thing that blows my mind the most? The thing that blows my mind the most about this basement being redone is the ceiling. Because I did spend a lot of time down here for years. And, for a little while I had a setup down here. And it was just the rat. I don't know what you call it. But there was no ceiling. It was just the floorboards. Just all like wooden floor and the beams and stuff, and it just wires everywhere and shit. So for me, when I saw the ceiling being completely done with the lights installed, I'm like, my God, man, like this is incredible. Like I still can't believe that just like 4 months ago, it looked like a tornado went through this basement. And Zanarkand, you're saying, the basement, aka MBG's own Bat Cave. Yes, and we have. He doesn't want the kids to hear the screams. Yeah, well, there's a reason. Yeah, there's a price to be paid every week, Ghetto God. Every week. We can't let the public know what that price is. For the illusion will be destroyed. Zanarkand, you're saying, MBG, where's your lava lamps? They're groovy, baby. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, that's what I should get. I should get a big ass lava lamp. Just put it somewhere back there. Yeah, man, it's great. What I would like to do next, I don't know when I'll do this. Because I spent a lot of money on this basement. I gotta take it easy for a little bit. But I would like to get a nice media shelf to go over here where the cat tower is that can display eventually my collection of games as well. So that'll be something I do eventually down the line. I would like to buy more physical games first, though, because I want to be able to fill it out. You want those lamps, Lady Gamer? Nice. Well, I'm glad some of you guys like them. Well, if you built that wall, that explains why the cat door is cut into the wall rather than the door. Yeah, that was so funny. Like my father-in-law was like, like, oh, okay. Where I was like, yeah, could you cut like a cat hole or something, into the wall so they can come in and out? And at first I don't think how could anybody understand, or like why? And I was like, well, because when I stream, they always want to come, into the room with me, and they get treats and stuff, and then they want to leave. And I have, I'm like, if there isn't a way for them to get in here on their own, I'm going to have to literally get up and down every like 15 minutes to go open and close the door, which it would just get monotonous, And I was like prepared to find out that was going to be a bad idea and it wouldn't work, but it worked out perfectly. Boss is the only one that has to scrape through a little bit, Ghetto God, now I'm getting concerned. How do you know about that? How do you know about that? All right. Zanarkand, I really appreciate the super chats, man. And we'll keep going here. I think for maybe like another half hour. And if you guys want to continue to support the channel, feel free to do so. We are sitting at 25 members. We'll see if we can get that number any higher before we wrap up today. Like I said, we will be bringing back Morning with the Misses coming sometime in April, and that will be members only. But we're also going to do, hopefully within the next few weeks, I'll be opening a P.O. box. A lot of you guys have been asking me to do that, and we could do like a once a month or every couple of weeks or something like that. Members only, like P.O. box opening special or whatever. God knows what the hell would. God knows what atrocities will occur. No, I'm not talking about my kids. No. No, I was responding to Ghetto God. Soon, Leo Jimmy. Soon. And Zanarkand, you're saying MBG, any other new PlayStation and gaming news? Actually, yeah. So one of the things you may have missed, Zanarkand, is, and I didn't get the chance to talk about it yet. Saros. So Saros previews went out, and I haven't taken enough time to talk about it, but like one of the best games that came out this gen, I think, for a lot of people was Returnal, and people were curious to see what Housemarque was going to do next, and now we know it's Saros, and for a lot of people, they feel like Saros looks too similar to Returnal, and it does. Like it looks like a spiritual successor to Returnal. It's not a direct sequel, but a spiritual successor. But there are really interesting things we're learning about this game that make me realize this is actually going to be a very different experience from Returnal in many different ways. And I'm actually getting more and more excited the more I hear about it. I bet MBG will never have to buy cat treats again if you open that PO box. Yeah, probably, which would be nice. You guys, they're going to be you guys are going to be supplying the cat treats for me. MBG, is it okay to find a girl to marry in this economy? I'm alone and I hate loneliness. I mean, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I have 8 kids, but it says Saros aims for bite-sized 30-minute runs, and the cool-off makes you ready for another. This is what the game designer tells Games Radar. Says the biggest goal was to make it more of an evolution, says Saros, lead game designer. When I ask about developing a spiritual successor rather than a direct sequel to Housemarque's Electric PS5 launch window. The aim has been to build off what Returnal established and add elements like the shield, different types of bullets, take the bullet ballet formula and then bring something new to it. Central to the vision was evolutionizing our gameplay and being more cinematic as well. This is what the narrative designer had to say, specifically how the team was to drive the story through this new theatrical lens. The result stars Raul Kali and solitary enforcer Arjun Devraj on a mission to find out what happened to a lost colony on alien planet Carcosia. And already there's more immediate cinematic flair to this tale than Celine's often isolated journey in Returnal. Let me see here. You never played Returnal, so Saros should be nice and fresh to you. Yeah, it should be, and you'll probably really enjoy it. There's a couple things in here they say that I find really interesting. It says, for starters, Arjun has other survivors of on his spaceship crash. Wait, hold on. Arjun has other survivors of his spaceship crash to talk to between roguelike expeditions into the dangerous world. So one of the things I want to point out here is they say each run is designed to be about 30 minutes. There's more narrative hooks for those who want them, and a dedication to coming back stronger means you can power up permanently after each run. Returnal could also be challenging to the point where it was tough to really actually get into. And while Saros is still difficult, it's aiming to have more options to embrace. So, any player who's interested will be able to actually engage. But I wanted to highlight the fact that they're saying the runs are going to be about 30 minutes now. This to me is great. They're saying you're going to have 30-minute runs, roughly, give or take, where if you remember with Returnal, it was kind of double that. Returnal's runs would be anywhere between an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, depending on how much you were struggling. And they're also letting you know that you will be able to save the game and suspend the game. That's so important because when Returnal came out, people were really criticizing the fact that these runs were kind of long and you just couldn't save. You had to just, once you start to level, you're in it until you beat it, And this is like a huge change where they're also letting you, with Saros, pick and choose any biome at any time to go back to. So These for me, listen, I platinumed Returnal. I put 120 hours in Returnal, which is ridiculous. And yeah, these are things that are going to make it so much more enjoyable for me, where I did find myself like, getting stressed out at certain times where I'm like, I have to, anytime I go sit down to play Returnal, only do so when I'm ready to really dedicate time to it. And so it did make it, hard to get that 120 hours at times. I like the fact that I'll be able to just kind of engage with Saros more. Um, Clark, what are you doing? Not casually, but just, like, yeah, I can sit down and play it for about 30, 35 minutes and then walk away. I can play it for 15 minutes and suspend it and, create a save slot and walk away and come back. I like that. To me, that's going to make it a lot easier to just pick the game up whenever I want, and not have to worry about not being able to finish a level. Because that happened to me when I was playing Returnal like numerous times, where I'm like, I can tell I'm close to the end of the level, but something, life is calling, and it's like I gotta just go. I gotta just I can't do it. I gotta walk away. Um, and I also like the fact that they're saying runs are 30 minutes now. I'm curious. It sounds like they're going to be just as impactful. Like it almost sounds like they sped the game up a little bit, where it seems like it's more intense this time. So Narcan, you're saying MBG, I saw an old MBG notification about some PlayStation PC launcher. What was that about, man? Real, fake? PlayStation fans want it or hate it? That's why PlayStation is back to basics, less PC stuff. Yeah, so actually, um, there are two things here. The first thing is a couple of years ago, there was a job listing that was discovered for, at PlayStation that straight up said like they were looking into building, they're working on a PC launcher. But that was multiple years ago and nothing came of it. More recently, there was a made up rumor, and I'm saying it's made up because there is no source. Like literally, I investigated it, I looked into it, I wanted to see if there was a source. There was none. There was this rumor that claimed Sony is preparing to launch a PC launcher and Wolverine's going to be the first game, and they're going to take their games off Steam, and yeah, they're going to do their own thing on PC. Jason Schreier was the one who came out and said not only did Sony cancel Saros and Wolverine or Ghost of Yote PC ports, but he like tripled down on it. He tripled down on it and said that like, yeah, no, they're not like they're pulling their stuff back. They're going back to exclusives, and so what was weird about that situation in Arcan is it went viral. The fake rumor, the made up PC launcher rumor, it went super viral. Millions and millions of views, people talking about it. But the reality is, literally, there was no source, and I mean that. Like, you could not find, like, who said this, who did this leak, did this come from a document, did this come from a job listing, did this come from an insider? It just was made up, and people were seeing. I guess what happened was people were getting views on it, and so they just ran with it, and they're like, okay, I want views too. And, it became like a domino effect. It caught fire. But yeah, the idea is PlayStation is kind of going back to the basics, back to exclusivity, back to, a time when, they wanted to have their first party games. I don't want to say drive console sales because clearly their first party games still do drive console sales, but they want to make it clear that, like, you're not going to get this anywhere else. Even if you wait, you're not going to get it. And yeah, that indicates to me that they are going back to a more basic, streamlined strategy for their console, where their first party single player games are going to be in service to incentivizing customers to choose their console over something else, whether that be PC or Xbox or Switch 2. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense in Arcan. I don't blame you for being a little bit confused or not fully understanding what's going on there, because even I was confused where I'm like, why is this going viral? Not that it wouldn't upset me if it's like, oh yeah, okay, Sony's making a PC launcher. What upset me at the time was how like so many people were running with it, assuming it was true, and it was like, guys, come on, like we got to do better than this. We got to do a little bit better than this. Like there is literally no source here. You think Naughty Dog should be embarrassed that Housemarque, less than half their size, is lapping them this gen? I'll tell you what, man. Naughty Dog has to deliver. They do. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Whether or not you think they will, that's everybody's allowed to have their opinion. But I think something that's not so much an opinion, but it's more of an objective, like reality at this point, is that they need to deliver something great in order to win people back and, I would say get back in the good graces of a lot of gamers and a lot of PlayStation fans. Because, yeah, man, I saw a tweet yesterday. I forget who said it or, you know, why I came across it, but somebody said, like, it's going to be, I think they said it's going to be truly embarrassing for Naughty Dog if they don't get Intergalactic out before the end of the PS5 gen. Like if it basically they were saying if Intergalactic ends up being a next gen game, it doesn't come out till the PS6 is out. That's embarrassing, and I would agree that would be insane for Naughty Dog to like basically miss a whole generation. When did they not deliver? Well, that's the thing, man. This is why I'm like, I tell people who are rooting against Intergalactic, like, you should probably just wait and see. I would not underestimate Naughty Dog and their ability to deliver a fantastic game. Whether that'll be a game that people like resonate with, where it's like, I love the story. And, I'm not saying it couldn't be divisive in terms of the story or the characters or anything like that, or the writing or whatever. It definitely could, especially because it's going to be a game about religion. Oh boy, just what we need. But in terms of delivering a really top-notch game that's like, holy shit, this is actually really fun to play, I would not underestimate Naughty Dog there, and I'm not sure who would, you know. But people are, so I'm like, well, we'll see. But that's why I'm saying, like, the stakes are high for them, where they've went so long without releasing a new game that you gotta get people excited, right? Like people are not feeling as high on Naughty Dog as they once were. And so I am curious to see if Naughty Dog can deliver on that front again. It's not that, Chris, you're saying it's not that Jason Schreier can't be wrong, but he only doubles down when he has official word from someone inside. Exactly. Yeah, like I tried to explain to people, and I know you were probably here for that too, where it's like Jason Schreier, he cares very much about his reputation in this industry. I'm not sure he would be willing to hang it out there like this if he wasn't completely certain. It's like his source is literally Herman Hulst. Smurf, you're saying games that don't respect my time are a hard pass for me. Saros appears to be correcting that issue. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I hear you, Smurf. Like, that's the thing. A lot of people are busy and, they want to play games, but they, they need to know, they need to feel assured that my time isn't going to be wasted. And, especially for a single player game. And so I think that they definitely made the right choice. You're saying I'm a big Naughty Dog fan and will always get their games, but there's a first time for everything, including failing. That's true too. Yeah, that's true. Let us not kid ourselves. The paranoia of we fellow gamers is astounding. And we have Zanarkhan with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much for that, man. He says, okay, MBG. PC PlayStation launcher was a fake rumor that went viral. Was this put out by a fake gaming insider? Jason Schreier? Also, what's this about Sony pulling PlayStation games from Steam? Real or fake? Source when? All right, so I'll break it down like this. We have heard from not one, but two reliable industry insiders, Jason Schreier and Nate the Hate. Both of them came out a couple of weeks ago, and they said Sony is canceling the PC versions of Saros and Ghost of Yotei, and they will no longer be releasing their single-player games onto PC going forward. However, they will let studios that they work with, like Kojima Productions, like Ember Lab, decide for themselves if they want to do PC launches. So, in other words, internal first-party PlayStation studios developing single-player games will only be releasing their games on PS5. What happened shortly after that was the rumor that went viral that's fake. It was not made up by a fake gaming insider. It wasn't even that. It wasn't even like somebody trying to chase clout and making a claim. It's impossible to determine where it stemmed from. But again, after looking into it as much as I could, my conclusion was somebody literally made a tweet. And when I say somebody, I mean a literal nobody on Twitter, like a rando account. They made a tweet claiming these things, didn't source it, didn't say where they heard it, didn't provide any info. They failed to elaborate. They put it out there, it trended, and then other people, because it trended so much, just started saying the same thing. So then it became not one account, but like 20 different accounts all saying it. The common theme here, I'll tell you though, is you didn't see any credible person running with it. So you would see all these tweets that went viral, but you wouldn't see like Shinobi 602 or Okami or anybody. You know, people who actually, follow this stuff. You didn't see anybody with any credibility report on it because there was no source. So it's worth noting, this is important to know too, Zanarkand, the rumor of Sony pulling their games from Steam, like removing the games that are currently on there, that was also made up. Jason Schreier nor Nate the Hate said that they plan to do anything like that. So the assumption is that if Sony is pivoting back to doing exclusives for their single-player games, they're probably just going to leave the games that are on Steam over there. Could Sony remove them? They could. That's anybody's guess. If Sony wanted to, they could just come out and be like, yeah, we're delisting these games from Steam. That would be unexpected and a bit surprising because it would be petty, I feel like, at that point where it's like, oh, okay. But they might do that. I wonder if, I don't know, you have to start to wonder, like, did Sony realize that it's going to be a lot harder to sell a remaster of your game when the PC version exists? Because a lot of people are just going to say, I already got it on PC, or I'll just go play it on PC. Maybe, I don't know. That's just me throwing that out there. But yeah, I just, I think that there's been a lot of drama going on with PlayStation, and obviously a lot of decisions that Sony's been making have been upsetting certain groups of people. I think that it's understandable, but everything that I'm seeing with PlayStation right now tells me that they are preparing to approach the PlayStation 6 generation in a much more traditional manner. Unless there's some major big plan they're going to reveal that nobody knows about yet. That is a possibility, but for now it seems like they're kind of hunkering down and approaching the PlayStation 6 generation like they did PlayStation 1 through 4, which is we have to absolutely, completely and entirely prioritize this hardware because our entire business model hinges on it. Corey, sometimes I have no idea what you're saying, bro, so we're going to get a bit petty. Oh, you said, for some reason I read pretty. No, that makes sense. Yes, Sony is going to get petty. I thought you said we're going to get a bit pretty, and I'm like, yeah, man, we're going to get dolled up for the PS6. That's what we're doing. That's what Sony's doing. They're getting dolled up. And I'm like, Corey's on something, bro. It never ceases to amaze me how many people don't know how to spell the word lose. Anything is possible for Sony. That's how I feel, to be honest. Delisting games on PC Store, I wouldn't completely rule that out. I wouldn't rule that out completely either. Completely either. Where it's like it seems unnecessary, but if they're really trying, if at some point they're like really trying to send a message like we are done. You know, from their perspective, they could view it as leaving those games on there leaves the possibility open where like maybe one day we'll go back to it, you know? And so if they, I don't know, if they make the decision, I will say if they were to make the decision to delist their games from Steam, that would be straight up like them going hardcore, man, like Nintendo style, where I'm like, oh, okay, all right. The message has, we're receiving the message loud and clear, but we don't know yet. I mean, it seems like Sony isn't really going to confirm any of this stuff if they do confirm it until May when they do their, their business report or their business meeting segment for their investors. What about the alleged handheld? Well, I mean, the handheld's still coming. Yeah. And that we've been talking about that a little bit. The handheld to me is going to really, I think it's going to do one of two things. It's either just going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. Like it just exists and it's just doing its own thing, like the PlayStation Portal, where it's like, yeah, it's just there. It's either that or it's going to shake things up quite a bit, and it's like, no, this is like doing really well for Sony. Like this is selling as well at like this is selling better than the PlayStation 6 or something like that, I think it's going to do one of those two things, and right now I don't know which side to lean on because we don't currently know how aggressive Sony's going to get with this handheld. We don't know what we don't know whether or not they're going to treat this handheld like an alternative option if you don't want to buy the PlayStation 6. You want to move from the PS5, but you don't want to buy a PS6, here's the handheld. You want to stay on PS5, you don't want to buy PS6, here's a handheld. I feel like that's what they're doing. Like, I feel like if you're Sony, right? Think of it like this. If you're Sony, you are anticipating tens of millions of people are not moving from their PS5s. They're just not. It doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter how many exclusives you have. Doesn't matter how amazing your games are looking and running on the PS6. The DualSense 2, bringing Mark Cerny out, having him tell you about the radiance cores and universal compression and all this stuff. It's like tens of millions of people are not moving. Sony's solution to that is we anticipated this. Will you buy a PlayStation handheld, though? And I feel like there's a lot of PlayStation players. A lot. There's so many, dude. There's millions. I'm not saying it's like 50 million or 40 million or 30 million, but there are millions of PlayStation players who are like, I will buy a PlayStation handheld. I ain't buying a PS6. I don't want a PS6. I don't need a PS6. I'll buy a PlayStation handheld, though. And I really feel like that's the strategy here for Sony. And if it's not that, I would be a little bit surprised because I'm like, oh, you're really just kind of treating it as like, yeah, this is just a bonus thing we're doing. This is just extra. That would be surprising because I'm like, I feel like it could be more than that. You see, exactly. Somebody in the chat saying, I'd buy the handheld, not the PS6. You see? And we have Zanarkan. Thank you so much for the super chats, Zanarkan. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm trying to see how well we can do for the remainder of today's stream and hopefully tomorrow's stream. Close out the month strong. He says, part 16. Wow, a fake tweet by some random on Twitter started it. Also, what happens if someone already bought PlayStation games on Steam? What happens? Will they be able to continue to play Uncharted, Spider-Man, The Last of Us, Part 1 and 2 on their PC if Sony removes their PlayStation games in the future? It's a great question, and I think, a lot of people don't actually know the answer to that. The answer is you will be able to play them. Sony can delist them from sale. They can't remove them from your library. So I don't think legally, I don't think they're allowed to do that. Um, but yeah, the idea is if you already bought any of these games on Steam and they're in your library, you're good. You will always have them. You'll always be able to play them, which is why, it's why you would be surprised to see Sony go out of their way to remove them from sale, right? Because it's like, bro, you the people who already bought them, like they're not going anywhere. So like Zanarkand, I don't know if you bought any of these games on PC, but if you did, if Sony does in the next couple of months announce that they're delisting all of their PlayStation Studios titles, like it couldn't be all of PlayStation Studios titles because you still have Helldivers, you still have Marathon, but single player games, you'd be fine. You wouldn't have to worry about that. You'd be in the green. You'd be good to go. They better hurry because a lot of us already have their go-to handheld. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious, man. I'm really curious to see Sony's approach with it. Like with the console, I'm so excited. I'm still very excited. Like I know a lot of people are really down on PlayStation and the next gen, but I'm still really excited to see like, dude, I don't think people understand like there's many different things Sony could be doing this upcoming generation that people are not really considering. And it's understandable why they wouldn't consider it because they're not in the weeds like we are, right? Like I'm sitting here covering every leak, every rumor, telling you every little thing that we're finding out. The amount of people that are walking around right now that have no idea Sony's doing a dedicated handheld, they have no idea that there's going to be two different devices they could potentially choose from next gen. And I'm just so excited to see like the reaction when Sony announces the PlayStation 6, it's super expensive, and people are like, no, thank you. And they're like, but wait. And then they show the handheld. Maybe the handheld will be the star of the show, man. People like me and you who are like hardcore console players, or not I don't want to say me and you as like everybody here, but a lot of you guys, we'll be there for the PS6. We'll be excited for it. We'll support it, obviously. But for like who knows, for the majority of people, the handheld might be the hero this time around for them. That might be the standout. Oh yeah, Leo Jimmy. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh wow, okay, we did pass the 3-hour mark. I'm losing track of time. MBG isn't prepared for the PlayStation handheld to outsell the PS6. The Shadowlink, I hope you're not the one in charge of naming devices, bro. The P6P. I got a P6. Almost said that. I got P6P, bro. That sounds crazy. You know what? Go for it, Sony. Cross-gen will be until 2030. I got the P6P, greatest handheld ever made. Like, bro, what kind of handheld are you talking about right now? All right. We're not ending the stream yet, by the way. We're not ending it. But I don't want to keep Leo Jimmy waiting any longer. He's been eager. Let's see. Bro, you made a 5-minute. This guy made a 5-minute song about Neo 3. Don't leave the stream. Listen, if you leave the stream, come back after 5 minutes. I want you to stay. Where are the kitties? They were here. Dude, I got this big ass cat tree. They don't even sleep on it. I got another cat tree over there. What are they doing? Before I play that song, though, Zanarkand, you're saying, MBG, I was thinking about buying the PlayStation Steam games I mentioned. I don't know why I just read it like that. This was like when there was the rumor Sony was shutting down the PlayStation 3 store. Yeah, I mean, that's where I don't know what to say, where I don't want to tell you to go panic buy, but all I can tell you is there's no promise. So here's what I'll tell you. No one has said anything about Sony delisting their games on Steam. No, like there is no rumor, there is no source about that. That's just assumptions. So you have to keep them, like, if you really feel like you should buy these games just in case, do so knowing that there is no word on it. And here's the thing, if Sony is going to delist their games, they'll probably give you a window of time. Like, they'll make that announcement where it's like, we're delisting them in 2 weeks. So they will give you a little window to get them while you can, you know? Just let me know if you want to hear the revised version. What's the difference, Leo, before I play it? There's the original and then there's the revised. What is the difference? Explain the difference and I will make my decision. Hanzo, you're heading out, man. Appreciate you tuning in. See you in 5 minutes. Original, it's hard to say. All right, we'll go for it. We will continue our conversation. I need a little bit of a break as well. I got to rest my voice for a minute here, so this gives me an opportunity. Bro, this sounds like Buckethead, man. Hell yeah, dude.
Darkness surrounds me. Heartbeat is racing.
Saying Steve Vai.
Don't think I'm making it out this time. Fierce eyes are glowing. All my fear is showing. Time is running out. My life is on the line.
We got some Creed vibes.
There's nowhere to go now. Back against the wall. Never thought it would end this way, but screw it. Let's fucking go. This is the world of Neo. It's time to die in the world of Neo. It's death all
Damn, that was really damn good. I mean, look. AI slop is AI slop, man. But that shit sounded good. So yeah, Leo Jimmy made that. He was inspired to make that because he's been enjoying Neo 3 that much. And that was good, dude. Like that actually, I'm like, that could be a fucking song they play, you know, to pump people up for Neo 3, man. That was good. That was good. And yeah, the guitar work, even though it wasn't real, none of these songs we listened to are real, still sounds good. So thank you for that, Leo Jimmy. Ray, you're saying, I remember when I used to go see Primus back in the day. I've seen them a lot live, and I was like, I hope Buckethead would come with his nunchucks or play guitar with them. Yeah, they collabed numerous times, I think. Breaking news from Insider Gaming. I'm on it. The Last of Us Road Ahead, addressed by Neil Druckmann. Is that the breaking news? What is this? Neil Druckmann, the creator of The Last of Us, recently took a trip down memory lane on social media. He showed a rough sketch of something almost unrecognizable, joined by a caption that revealed it was the original concept for The Last of Us. The drawing was scribbled in 2003, but it wouldn't be until 2013 that the game emerged. And Zanarkam with another super chat. Thank you, man. Saying, MBG, whatever happened to that rumor about PlayStation trophies and network account integration on PC? Well, that's the thing. Like, Sony was working on this stuff, dude. They were working on it, but it seems to me like, because we have to remember, like, a lot of that stuff that we heard about was like from a year or two ago. And we know that Hideaki Nishino, he only became the president of SIE, I think, like a year and a half ago. And a lot of times when transitions like that happen, it takes a while to like undo certain things and spool new things up. And I think what happened is he was basically taking time to oversee everything, learn everything, figure everything out that's going on. And then I think he decided we're scrapping all that. This, this stuff happens all the time. Sony works on stuff internally all the time that gets scrapped. But yeah, it seemed like they were really, it seems like Sony was getting very, very, very close to going all in with PC. And at the last minute, for reasons that we don't yet know, but I'm sure they have their reasons, they decided we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Leo, you're saying, come on, Encore MBG. Maybe when I do end the stream, there's something I want to show you guys before I end the stream. But we'll see. Leo, I'll be honest, man. I played that that was a 5-minute song, bro. That's crazy. You're welcome, Leo. You're welcome. It's like, come on, man. Come on. You need to hear all my songs. Oh, I see Rich Rod has joined us. Rich Rod, I saw that video you put in the Discord. You got him. Your house is infested. Oh, you got more than one? Uh-oh. Remember people were being crybabies about having to create a PSN account or log into PSN on PC? That probably stopped them. Yeah. I think that really probably, I think Sony learned the hard way with PC that, like, dude, you're in a different domain, man. You're not going to be able to have the same type of control and flexibility that you do in your own ecosystem. I think Sony was thrown for a loop. I think that's why we were looking at them like, how do you not know this? And they're like, oh. They're like, what? You got 8 mice? Damn. I mean, in my garage, I saw some mice like 9 months ago or something. And that's my next project. I got to clear out the garage, fix it up, clean it up. I'm probably going to encounter mice. I don't want to kill them though. Like I don't know. I feel bad. It's because it's my garage outside. It's like you do what you want. You know, you do what you want. Angry Whale Watcher says mice don't roll solo. Rich says angry. This is terrifying. Damn. Sony found out PC players have no interest in signing up for PlayStation Network. Probably one of the reasons they won't do a PC launch anytime soon. And yeah, I've talked about that before where I'm like, Sony, you can do a PC launcher. It ain't going to mean nothing. It's not. You know, almost every publisher has been down this road. You know, every platform holder at one point in time. And they all find out the hard way that like, unless you're ready and willing to beat Steam at their own game, you know, which I don't think Sony's ready for that. I don't think they're equipped for that. I don't think they're ready for it because they don't. Well, frankly, it's not even a matter of a lack of understanding. It's just they're not going to be willing to do, you know, things that Steam is doing because Steam is a privately held company. All right, hold on. The Last of Us surfaced in 2013, landing on the PS3, blah, blah, blah. In January 2023, HBO, blah, blah, blah. While Neil Druckmann has played coy with his audience over the years regarding another Last of Us title, the prospect has never been written off entirely. At present, Naughty Dog is working on Intergalactic the Heretic, they say Prophecy. But in 2025, Druckmann also confirmed there's a secret game underway at the studio. Is this the news? Like, is this the breaking news on Insider Gaming? Because I don't know. I don't really think that's breaking news, to be honest. And Zanarkhan, you're saying MBG, where are the cats? Locked out of MBG's Batcave, usually appearance on the podcast, man. No, they're Leia was literally just here. You can't see it. Zanarkhan, you can't see it. There's a hole in the wall. So like if you look at the door, look at the bottom right. Next to the wall, there's a cat opening. So they can freely come in and out. I don't know why they're not down here, man. I don't know. They sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Some days they're not. But it's a little bit, I don't know. It's not really that cold down here either. So I don't know. I guess they're just not in the mood today, Zanarkhan. I mean, Boss got his treats. Clark got his treats. I'm pretty sure Leia's down here. Oh, there he is. You see him? See how he just appeared? I know when Boss is coming because I can hear him scraping against the cat opening. It's like, shh. Bro, look at this. Look at this. Look at what's on his face. You got a big, like, string on your face, bro. Look. Look at that. So it's on his face. What are you doing, Boss? Here. Boss, what do you have to say to the community? Boss heard the T word and he showed up. Yeah. Oh, at that. Look, Luna's coming too. We have a. You can't even see her. Can you? Oh, you can. She's right behind me. We have a rare Luna appearance. Look, she blends in right against the sofa, dude. That's funny, dude. Zanarkhan, you mentioned the cats. I just do a quick pss, pss, and here they are. And there's Boss. Yep. Okay. He's just walking back and forth now. You see her eyes? I would like to like hold Luna and show her off, but she is very Luna's very like spazzy. I'm kind of just waiting to see what she does. Yeah, they were summoned. How big is Boss? He's very big. He's very big. He's the biggest one. Oh, there's Clark too. Now Clark's here. Oh my God. Clark, please don't attack me. Dude, Clark is the most unpredictable one. And Leia's here. Dude, all 4 cats are here right now. I don't know if you can tell. Boss is here. Clark's here. Did you guys hear that? Did you hear Leia? She was like growling at Clark. I feel bad because you guys can't see him. I'm surrounded by cats right now and you can't see them. Hold on. No, it's not working. I'm trying to get Boss on camera because he's sitting right in front of me, but they're depressed. No, I don't think they're depressed. They're pretty happy. They're during the day, they're really chill. And like they just sleep mostly. In the evening and especially at night and a lot of times in the middle of the night, they're going crazy. I mean, gee, I've heard of cat ladies, but you're officially the cat man. I'm the crazy cat man. We need multiple cat cams. P.O. Box, send the cat cams. We do. Dude, we actually do. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could figure out how to make that work, perhaps. Like right now, if I could set up a camera like over there going this way, you'd be able to see all 3 cats just chilling right here. I'm like annoyed because I can't, I don't want to, I don't know. Hold on. Yep. I shouldn't do that. I'm gonna end up disconnecting the camera. Nope. Nope. That's okay. It's fighting me. It's fighting me. Trying to. I can't. Yeah, it's gonna disconnect. Hold on. Yeah, I am gonna have to get cat cams, dude. Because shit. Now it's all messed up. So good. Okay, I think it's back to where it was. The boss says side eye. Yeah, I don't know, man. All 3 cats are just chilling here with me. And I'm just chilling with you guys now. It's all messed up. All right. What were we talking about? I don't remember. We have a new song for Sunday, Perfect Image. Boss had a grumpy face. Yeah, I don't know. Boss, are you grumpy, man? I don't think he's grumpy. He's just, I mean, he's older now, you know. Boss is entering old man status soon. Yeah, sometimes I forget how old Boss is, dude. He's like he's gonna be 9? I think he is 9 now. He's 9 years old, dude. Shadow Link, you're saying I'm the cat daddy? I don't know how I should feel about that. I have conflicting feelings. The cat daddy. The cat father. Yeah, that news wasn't really breaking. Hope you're doing well today, MBG. I'm doing all right. Yeah. I'm at this point I'm just kind of hanging out a little bit. Where are we at time-wise? Okay, so we're almost at the 3.5 hour mark. At this point, I mean, look, I've talked extensively about pretty much all the topics I wanted to talk about. I keep wanting to talk more about Saros, but I can't really go that far with it because I feel like we're just on the cusp of it getting ready to release. Thank you, Perfect Image. On Sunday, or not Sunday. Well, maybe we'll play it tomorrow. If you remind me tomorrow. When's that Xbox showcase? It's June 7th, so we got some time. But guys, I want to bring something up. I want to show you something that I think is cool, and maybe you'll find it cool. I don't know if you're going to find it cool. I know Ray will like it. Ray's going to find it cool. It's just a video I want to show you of a guitarist. You guys can let me know if you're familiar with him. So this particular recording I'm going to show you was filmed in 1996. And listen, while I'm getting that up to watch with you guys, the reason why I'm extending the stream a little bit here is because I want to encourage any final donations of any kind before we wrap up today. We're sitting at 25 members. We did go at Super Chats today too, and I appreciate that. It'll be kind of like our last call, but it'll be a little bit different because I'm going to probably be here for like another 10 or 15 minutes. So we'll see what we can get before we wrap this up. Where is it? I always have a struggle with this. Okay. Oh, it's not even in the right aspect ratio. Okay. Well, that explains it. And yeah, Ray dropped the Discord link in the chat. If you guys want to join the Discord is open to everybody. Feel free to join it. And, chat in there, hang out. Just, respect the rules and be kind to each other. All right. I think I think we're good now. So I got to show you this. Okay. Some believe this might be the greatest guitar performance of all time. This was filmed in 1996 in a very small venue, it looks like, by an artist that is known as Buckethead. All right. I don't know how many of you guys know Buckethead. I know Ray. Ray knows Buckethead. I know Ray knows. Sorry, I'm sorry it's taking so long to bring this up. It's looks a little bit different here because the aspect ratio is off. Where was the show? Let me see. The show, this particular performance it says it was February 29th, 1996. It doesn't say where. It doesn't say where the performance was, surprisingly. Who doesn't know Buckethead? I mean, yeah, right? Who doesn't know Buckethead? But guys, listen, so I'm going to let you know, this song basically has two halves to it. The first half is pretty chill, pretty melodic, a lot of ambiance. The second half, so you're going to see at some point he goes to like adjust his amp. Once he locks it in, bro, I'm telling you, listen, Buckethead is the greatest guitarist of all time. No, Leo, Jimmy, I didn't play it yet. I didn't play it yet. Here we go.
Go, Brian, go!
I mean, come on, bro. Like, does it get better than that? That would like he's the greatest guitar player of all time. That is some of the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. And that tone, bro. I don't know, I just had to show you guys that. I've been listening to Buckethead a lot lately. Like, I've been really, yeah, dude, he's like 6'7" or some shit. MBG, please re-enable super stickers. No option? Wait, I didn't disable them. I didn't disable super stickers. That's weird. Does anybody, guys, can you tell me if you're also not seeing? If you're not seeing super stickers as an option? Because, yeah, that's true, Snark. And I know you like to use the super stickers. I don't know why it's not showing up. You know, I will tell you this. I will tell you, YouTube's been having some issues today. Yeah, YouTube's been bugging out and glitching out. A lot of my stuff wasn't even loading earlier today. So I can tell you that I have not disabled the option. Oh, you have the option, right? It's still there for you. Yeah, this might be a glitch on your end, or not your end, Zanarkand, but on YouTube's end, where some people might not just be, they just might not be seeing it. Because like earlier today, I wanted to put my link for members to join. It just literally wouldn't appear. Like literally, I went into my YouTube studio and everything was just broken. It was a broken mess. So it'll probably be fixed in due time. I'm sorry about that, Zanarkand, though. YouTube's always messing me up, bro. People trying to support in different ways, and YouTube's not letting them. Hate to see it. All right, where are we at? Let me see if I have the option. Yeah, the super sticker option's still there for me, too. Are you on a... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could test it out, too, just to... Whenever you get the chance when you're on YouTube again. I don't know if you're on desktop right now, if you're on mobile, but if you're on mobile, maybe it'll appear on your desktop. I'm not sure. You want an encore, Leo Jimmy? Rich had to lay down the law. He had to lay down the law. Well, I mean, I think some people know at the end of my streams sometimes, you know. Not all the time, but I just kind of let it free flow a little bit. Oh yeah, animals as leaders. Device, yeah, they're crazy, dude. Got that math rock breaking my damn brain. You're on desktop PC, only see super chat and gift memberships option. Interesting. Yeah, that's weird, Zanarkand. I don't know. The only other option at that point, man, depending on how much you really want those super stickers, the only other option is maybe a different browser. But I don't know. Like I said, YouTube's been acting up today, so. And I noticed you did use your milestone chat for that. Thank you for being a member for 55 months, man. All right. How much longer will we go here for? I don't know. At this point, I'll just kind of hang out the chat for a bit, I suppose. Why not? We could trash talk Xbox for 10 minutes. Make fun of Xbox fanboys for 10 minutes if you want to do that. What do you guys want to do? We can do anything right now. Oh, 9 minutes ago. Guys, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Hold on. So Marvel's the official Insomniac account said 9 minutes ago, what do you want to know about Marvel's Wolverine? Dude, I'm telling you, they're getting ready. It's going to be like next week. It's going to be like next week, dude. Let me see here. Rich Rod wants me to talk shit. Yeah, Rich Rod, I mean, when it comes to Dark Cloud, I don't think he's being serious. I think he's just fucking around. But I get it. I get it. Got to set the example, you know? Respect my authority. Neil Druckmann on The Last of Us Future. Been a wild journey. Grateful for every part of it, especially the few steps that remain on the road ahead. I mean, he's probably talking about The Last of Us HBO Season 3. Although he's not involved with it anymore. So he might not be talking about that, actually. All right. Well, guys, I think, we're about to hit the 3 hour and 45 minute mark. I think this is going to be a good place to wrap everything up here today. Leo Jimmy, drop me 10 membership gifts and I'll hook you up, bro. I'm kidding, bro. You can if you want, but no, I'll play. Let me see. Is it? It's called. Yeah. I think this is the right one. All right, here we go. Last one for Leo Jimmy here. Wait, hold on. It's not letting me play it. Oh. Last one for Leo Jimmy. Guys, member train for Leo Jimmy's song about Neo 3. Talk your trash on Xbox. Talk trash. Talk. I'm gonna do What is that? What is that? What is that scream? Oh, perfect image. Wait, this is yours? Oh, Leo Jimmy's upset. He's like, wait. Wait, hold on. Now we're all messed up. Perfect image. I'm not playing yours anymore. This is what happens. This is what happens when I allow people to give me their AI slop. Leo Jimmy's like, that wasn't mine. Gotta give that. Yeah, that last one was perfect image. Bro, it sounds so real. Like, I don't get it. It just sounds so real. Guys, if you're heading out, make sure you hit that like button, all right? Is the sound low? Hold on. Is that better?
My life is on the line. There's nowhere to go now. Back against the wall. Never thought it would end this way, but screw it. Let's fucking go.
Good riffs, good riffs. Dude, I feel like it sounds like a specific band. 200 likes? I don't know if we would get 200 likes. We get 150, Rich. 150? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It sounds like Shinedown. That's the band I was thinking. I couldn't remember their name. Yeah, you're right. It sounds a lot like them. Maybe did you put that in as an input? We're so cooked, aren't we? We are. I think it's a different version, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it feels like the tempo is a little bit faster. Some different riffs. Yeah, Russell Carey, I hope you hit that like button, bro. Yeah, I hope you hit that like button, man. We got Officer Rich. Officer Rich, he's doing his patrol. He's on his patrol. He's doing his rounds. I like the guitar solo. Thank you, Russell. All right, you're good. You're good. You're in the clear. I don't know. This one's pretty good, Leo. I like this one. It's got like a kind of just some more, just a driving feel to it. I like it. Well, yeah, this might be the one. In the world of Neo, it's never gonna be all right, bro. It's never gonna be all right. Good outro. Yeah, that was good, dude. Those are good. I like both. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like the second one a little bit better. That outro was really good too. Well, there you go, Leo Jimmy. Don't say I never did anything for you, man. But yeah, no, thank you guys. That's gonna wrap today's stream up. Thank you all so much for tuning in and hanging out with us here. If you dropped any support today, whether that be memberships, direct donations, super chats, thank you all so much. I can only do what I do because you make it possible. So shout out to those of you who are, making this possible. And I also want to make sure to give a shout out to Devil Shooter, who does the timestamps for the streams. If you guys see him with the timestamps in the comments. Give him some thanks. Show him some love. I know he appreciates it. And I feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't know why. I hate that feeling. Like, I feel like I didn't say something I was supposed to say, or I don't know. All right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. So we should be back here tomorrow, guys, hopefully. And didn't put a video out today, but I did yesterday. You can go check it out if you're interested. And that's it. So enjoy the rest of your day, evening, or night. Guys, I will catch you in the next one. Until then, take care, everyone.